hosts, Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lawrenceville, Georgia, on the campus of Georgia Gwinnett College. We are live at the Grizzly soccer field where today Steve DeCoux and your Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies will play Ashford University for the A.I.I. Championship. Hello again, everybody. To some more familiar than others, I'm Matt Mahoney. One as in the number of years eligible for postseason play. One opportunity to win a championship. One, the seed for Ashford. One 90-minute game will decide your season success. One, the finger you will hoist to the sky if victorious today. And one, the best story ever told if the Grizzlies are crowned A.I.I. champions. There's no one-man band today. I've dragged along my partner Nate Wark for perhaps this magical journey for GGC on Championship Saturday. Nate, I think I know the answer, but how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. Is that the word you're going to go with?
I would have chosen something close to that, absolutely. But what a beautiful day here for soccer. Cold and rain is behind us. I don't know about glorious sunshine, but you couldn't get anything better to this perception that it should be just a beautiful day for soccer.
Well, it's a whole lot better than the sheets of rain we were getting last night. That is for sure.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape between these two teams here. Ashford, they are the 1 seed. They are the Saints from Clinton, Iowa. More of an online school, but very much a public institution with 960 members on campus, and of course they are an A.I.I. member. Meanwhile, Georgia Gwinnett will be the home team on the scoreboard because of the host. They are the 3 seed. We are the Grizzlies that are right here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 4-year public institution, 9,400 students on campus, and of course an A.I.I. member. Head coach for the Saints is Richard Markham, his 5th year of the program with 59 career wins, 14 losses, and 10 ties. Currently, the Saints are 13-3-1 on the regular season and are the 3rd-ranked team in the country at the NAIA level. Meanwhile, for the Grizzlies, it's Steve DeCoux and our one and only coach in program history, 2nd year of existence, 29 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties, his record in green. Currently, the Grizzlies are 14-4 on the regular season, receiving votes just outside the top 25 with 87. On paper, Ashford 3.1 goals per contest to the Grizzlies, 2 goals per contest. Ashford has scored in every single game they played. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies have only been shut out once offensively. Goals against average. Pay attention to this number. For Ashford, 1.24 goals given up a game. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies less than a goal per contest. 7 shutouts for Georgia Gwinnett, just 3 for Ashford. Grizzlies currently on a 7-game winning streak. Meanwhile, the Saints on a 5-game winning streak. Clearly no common opponents between these two teams. First ever meeting between these two programs, and we could not have a better setting for this championship game on Saturday. Nate, make sense of those numbers.
Well, as you probably picked up on, Ashford is a high-powered offense. They've scored at least 3 goals 10 times in their 17 games, including their 6-1 victory last game, which was actually a lot closer than the score would sound like for the first 60 minutes or so. Scoreless at halftime, and then after giving up that first goal, really turned on the Jets. But meanwhile, GGC looking to go ahead and answer here today.
We're going to take it down to Nate Wark, who is with Ashford's head coach.
Thanks, Matt. We're here with coach of Ashford University. And last game, of course, coming up with that big 3-1 victory, but tied at halftime 0-0. What did you tell your guys at the half?
We've been a second-half team all year long. So just you look at our stats, I think we've doubled or tripled our opponents in goals, shots, goals against, and shots against in the second half. So we've been in that situation a lot all season long. We've been a second-half team that can turn it on when we want to, and sometimes, the mistake on the goal kind of woke us up, and I think, sometimes that you need that a little bit to get you going. But we've been off for 2 weeks, like most teams in our conference, so I think it was more of just a rust for the first half, just kind of playing a little bit tentative, and then, once you relax and then get into the game, we get rolling.
So then how do you avoid that rust, that kind of slow start here this game?
You know what? You hope that they're prepared and ready to go. But you know what? We take it in 2 halves. Soccer's a game of not taking timeouts and being able to do much other than just make some adjustments during the game. But I think our players are ready to play. I think losing last year in the conference championship, every one of them has waited for this moment. So we're not coming in here taking Georgia Gwinnett lightly. We're coming in and we know we're gonna play a very tough opponent, and we're gonna give everything we've got.
Just one more question, Coach. How big of a factor do you think experience will play in this? As you've been here before, you played in the championship last year, and this is Georgia Gwinnett's first time.
Plays as much as home field advantage plays. We're probably the only team in the country that has to travel halfway across the country to play as the number 1 seed to play another team in the finals on their home field. But home field advantage is home field advantage. We're a very good team on the road, and so I don't think it gives us any advantage. I start 4 freshmen. None of them were there last year, and there's probably 5 or 6 guys that didn't play in the play on our team last year or didn't play in the championship game last year. So, I don't think it's an advantage. I think sometimes having freshmen is better because they don't know any different. They just want to play, they want to win, and they have no idea what's going on half the time. They don't know that we're in a championship game. It's just another game to them.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Once again, that's Coach Richard Markham, and now we will go to voice of the Grizzlies, Matt Mahoney, who is with Grizzlies coach Steve DeCoux.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. We're here with the head Grizzlies coach, Steve DeCoux. Coach, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Matt.
A lot of emotions, a lot of excitement after last night's game. How do you carry that into today?
You've got to unfortunately have instant amnesia. You've got to forget about yesterday and prepare for today. It's going to be a completely different set of challenges that Ashford's going to impose upon us than San Marcos. But you've got to enjoy the moment. Where we were just 18 months ago to where we are today, we've talked about that. The pressure's on Ashford. They're number 3 in the country. They're the number 1 seed at this tournament. So we're trying to go in it as the hunter. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to be that because the bullseye will be on our back, and hopefully after today it changes, but enjoy the moment. Let's go at them and see what happens.
Ashford may be susceptible to giving up goals. How do you take advantage of that?
That's exactly it. We've got to be good in the attack today. We've got to, first thing first, we've got to shut them down and not allow them opportunities. But they're going to get a chance or two, but we really think our guys are going to have a good opportunity to get in behind them and create them a lot of problems.
What's going to be coach's role until all this excitement today? What can you do during your game?
Try to keep calm, try to keep them calm. Just try to, hopefully like we did yesterday, maybe via substitutions or maybe just a little tactical switch, make a change with that. But end of the day, no, it's 90 minutes, it's all on the boys. So let's just sit back and enjoy it.
I had a chance to talk to athletic director Darren Wilson before the game, and he said the only thing he wants for his birthday is the A.I.I championship.
That's the game plan, is to give it to him. So we didn't tell the boys that. We don't want to give them too much pressure. There's enough on their shoulders as it is.
Coach, good luck today.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with starting lineups and kickoff. This is the Grizzly Digital Network. Change of plans, folks. So we're going to go straight to the starting lineup there and get things going. We'll turn things over to our public address announcer here at the Grizzly soccer field, and Ned Colgrove.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the starting lineups for our men's championship contest. First up for the top seed, the home team on the scoreboard, visiting from Clinton, Iowa, the Ashford Saints. In goal, number 1, Patrick Kinsella. Number 2, Jordan Hoffman. Number 3, Paul Ledgen. Number 5, Simon Brown. Number 7, Luis Mota. Number 9, Lucas Almeida. Number 12, Daniel Dreyer. Number 15, Mark Hiller. Number 20, Tim Krautheim. Number 23, Fernando Machado. And number 30, Javier Ramirez. The Saints are coached by Richard Markham. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starters for the third-seeded hosts from right here in Lawrenceville, the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies. In goal, number 1, Lewis Sharp. Number 6, Alex Joseph. Number 11, David Burke. Number 12, Johan Sanchez. Number 13, Martin Lugo. Number 15, Ibrahima Sissoko. Number 16, German Rodriguez. Number 17, Renee Enang. Number 18, Callum Morty. Number 19, Juan Geraldo. And number 22, Patrick DaCosta. The Grizzlies are coached by Steve DeCoux. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Our colors today are brought to you all weekend long by the Georgia Gwinnett College ROTC.
Big thanks to Ned Colgrove, public address announcer here at the Grizzly Soccer Field, as well as the GGC ROTC. They've been here all weekend long presenting the colors and doing a fantastic job, if I do say so myself. Nate, it's time for the A.I.I championship game here. These two teams going to lock up here. Hopefully 90 minutes from now we'll have a champion, and another team will be a runner-up. Give us a key to the game here between Georgia Gwinnett and Ashford.
Well, I think one of the big keys is going to be the GGC offense versus the Ashford defense. Ashford has proven both last game and throughout the season that they are susceptible to giving up goals. They've given up over a goal per game. And GGC has proved to be no slouch in the scoring department themselves, scoring, as you mentioned, 2 goals a game. They definitely have the offensive explosiveness. The thing is, can they exploit the gaps in the Ashford D, make them pay early, and force the Saints to play catch-up?
It should be a fantastic game here. Perhaps the second key to the game, I think, Nate, is obviously going to be experience. Grizzlies have never experienced anything like this. You saw the raw emotion for the Grizzlies yesterday. What do they have left in the tank versus a team that's Ashford, been to the national tournament, won the A.I.I last year, lost the A.I.I championship game last year. They know what experience is about. Agree or disagree?
I would agree, although I thought it was very interesting when I talked to Coach Mark about that, and he said that he didn't think that was as big of a factor for his players, with 4 of them being freshmen that start, and said to them this is just another game, and the key in that experience thing is going to be, can GGC take this as just another game rather than, oh my goodness, this is the championship and what do I do, and freaking out about it, saying, okay, this is just another game, we play our game, and hopefully they'll come out of here with the first ever championship in their first ever attempt. On their home field, no less.
A beautiful 61 degrees here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, just outside the Atlanta metro area. No rain in the forecast. We will dip into the 50s by night's end, but this is almost sunny California compared to what we had yesterday. The Grizzlies will be in green uniforms, green tops, green shorts, green socks, white letters and numbers, and they'll go right to left here in the first half. Meanwhile, Ashford is going to wear the home white uniforms, white jerseys, black shorts, white socks. They'll go left to right here in the first half. And as if we didn't have enough anticipation already, I believe the referee forgot his whistle. So he has gone to his bag of tricks. He is now ready to go. He is ready for the watch. Welcome aboard here to the A.I.I championship game. Referee checks his compadres, blows his whistle, and we're underway here from Lawrenceville, Georgia. The Grizzlies will run a 4-3-3 here. Lewis Sharp back behind the post for the Grizzlies. In front of him, listen to this. It'll be Alex Joseph and Renee Anang at center back in front of him. DaCosta will go to the left back and Sanchez to the right. In the interior midfield, Morty, Rodriguez, and Geraldo. Up top of the Grizzlies, Martin Lugo will be that target forward. The right striker will be Burke. The left striker will be Sissoko. So already some changes, not only from yesterday to today, which we knew the adjustments were coming, but Renee Anang, one of the best goal scorers on the team, is playing center back for Coach Taku.
Well, one thing that we have learned throughout the course of the season from Coach Taku is that he knows what he's doing with his player moves. So although it seems a little bit odd, clearly he has a good purpose in mind. I'm sure we'll see that unfold throughout the course of the game. And there's nothing ruling him out moving up later on, say, second half or so.
The win yesterday for Coach Taku, career win number 150 as a head coach. You won't get a plaque for it, but sometime down the road, he'll get a chance to reflect on not only the season, but 150 career wins. Pretty impressive, and congratulations to Coach Steve Taku. As for Ashford, they'll play more of a 4-3-3 attack as well. They at times may tuck in that defensive midfielder a little bit deeper than what some teams will expect, but really look for those two interior midfielders at number 7 and number 12. That's Moda and Dreyer to really get forward off turnovers in exchange. We really didn't see that until the second half. We talked about it yesterday, but expect those two guys to come out and play really well really early here.
Well, especially Dreyer. He notched 2 goals in the win yesterday, including one of the craziest goals I've seen in my soccer watching career.
Here's Burke going to the end line here, looking for a cross. He'll run out of real estate, and it'll be a goal kick for Ashford. Also want to say Patrick Kinsella's name, a senior goalkeeper out of Fernley, England. I'm sure he took the loss last year in the A.I.I championship game to Jamestown 3-0 rather personally. So he is glad to be back here in this opportunity. Chance for redemption for him personally as well.
Ironically, both keepers from England. As Sharp himself comes from Newcastle.
Sharp back behind the post there, gave up a goal in the second half here. Coaches had a chance to review the film. That's probably had a chance to talk to a couple of the assistant coaches for GGC earlier this afternoon, and they said, I asked them, I said, did you take a whole bunch of notes? Did you do a whole bunch of scouting from yesterday to the day? And they said the biggest news is they were glad to just see Ashford versus a team like Cal State San Marcos. You got no clue what you're going to get, but at least you know a little bit about this beast you're going to say here today. But they did say, going back and watching the film, they were able to make that simple adjustment from the goal that the Grizzlies gave up. So that's just many people want to take caveats into, they got a chance to look at the film. They broke it down and showed the team. That's not what today's about. Today's about doing what you do and do it well. And so it was good to hear that the coaching staff did give a little did give a little caveat to the film yesterday and make an adjustment on the goal the Grizzlies gave up.
A player who is down was Daniel Dreyer, who we were just talking about briefly ago, and he's holding his chest a little bit.
Dreyer had a nice collision there with DaCosta. DaCosta came in with a sliding effort, and Dreyer was already on the ground with the ball loose. No foul issued out of it, but I believe the official here just wanted to make sure there was no malicious intent involved.
We'll have a drop ball, looks like, perhaps.
And a drop ball there. Conceded to the Saints. Always love to see sportsmanship right as the occasion there. Both these teams, first 5 minutes, still filling each other out. Georgia Gwinnett, a little pressure in the midfield here. Trying to create a turnover. And they do with Geraldo. Left side for Sissoko. Still toward the middle of the field here, weaving his way through traffic. Gets rid of it to Burke. Burke on the right side. Looks for an overlapping run from Sanchez and bypasses. Comes back to Morty in the middle. Geraldo touches forward. Trying to find Sissoko and cannot. Intercepted. Back the other way. Here's Brown. Brown had it taken away from Geraldo. Can the Grizzlies find a hole in the defense here? Lugo gives it back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez plays it wide to Burke. Burke right back to Rodriguez. German into the box at the elbow. Puts something toward the face of the net there. Nobody's home there. That ball trickled across the face of the net. Kinsella clearly waiting for somebody to clear that ball off. Last touch, the white sock. And so the Grizzlies will get a first corner kick here in the first 5 minutes.
I am very impressed with the way the passing is already developing for the Grizzlies. They're finding gaps very, very well. Only a matter of time before they punch one in if they can keep that up. and very precise and crisp here early.
So this will be Geraldo to the near corner here to take the corner kick. Grizzlies put 6 green shirts into the box. Ball struck in swinger, headed away by the Saints. Chased down by Nang. Nang keeps possession here. Comes to the near side. Goes with a cross and nobody home there. Him and Geraldo not on the same page, but the two try to fight through their language barrier, perhaps.
Yeah, Sissoko there in the ridiculously bright green cleats. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I don't mean they look ridiculous. I'm just saying they're, I guess awesomely bright would have been a better choice of words, because we were talking about yesterday how over on the side Almeida had the brightest cleats. I think we might have a new winner in that contest.
Yeah, I believe because Sanchez is rocking the same boots, as is number 9 for the Saints in Almeida. But Sissoko going with the all neon green there. I like him. Long ball played here, and Nang is all over it.
But honestly, so far, I think GGC is playing just a hair better than Ashford here in the first 5 minutes.
Geraldo with a turn in the midfield here. Plays it wide to DaCosta. DaCosta plays it forward to a Sissoko. Weaving his way through traffic here. This Ashford team is going to possess the ball. They're going to stay behind the ball as well. Very European style. They're going to be efficient and friendly at the same time. They don't want to bang around with you here. They have some size to win some good 50-50 challenges and head balls as well. But they're going to be very methodical, very strategic in every move that they make. They're going to make the ball work. They're going to make you work even harder. But most importantly, they're going to be efficient. Knocked away by DaCosta, throw into the near side. Throw in here, settled by Dreyer. Now up the top to Croutham. Joseph's there. Trying to get out of danger here. Last touched by Almeida. Throwing for DaCosta. DaCosta heaves it down the way, finds Rodriguez. Trying to flick to Geraldo and cannot. Taken away by Letson. Grizzlies regain possession here. It's amazing how fast and perhaps athletic this Grizzly team is, but I think it's a stigma, Nate, to just think that because every team is fast, they're small in stature. But I think what's interesting, the Grizzlies had a combination with depth and size in the back. Johan, extremely athletic, can rise and win any header. Obviously, Alex Joseph, one of the bigger guys on the team. Rude presented that same presence as well. And then yesterday, trying to go with Eric Espelin, is very a big body too as well. But in the absence of those changes and adjustments, I find it really interesting that Joseph, who's very aggressive in the air and very good with those loose balls, but Joseph now becomes the biggest guy on the pitch for the Grizzlies. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you couldn't have said that about the Grizzlies even a month ago.
No, that's what injuries and such will do. They force you to switch up things and find the new best.
So I guess my point is, with that statement, defensively for the Grizzlies here, it's almost going to be Alex Joseph's responsibility to win every single head ball defensively on corners, defensively on set pieces. He's got to be a headhunter there for the GGC.
Bit of a miscommunication there in the middle.
Saints to the near side here. Almeida. Can't connect with Croutham. Errant pass there by Geraldo. Finds the foot of Sanchez. Sanchez a little shaken. Bake beats his guy. He'll accelerate it into the midfield here. Going down the right side. Assessing his options. Stopped temporarily here by Latham. Plays it forward to Burke. Burke with a challenge and a win temporarily, but the Saints swarm up Burke's attempt and shuffle it out of the defense.
Passing for both teams has really impressed me here early.
First 10 minutes here. 0-0 contest. I tell you what I like here already. I don't know. I'm probably making a mountain out of a mole here, Nate. But Johan plays that ball, or excuse me, Joseph plays that ball back to Sharp. Sharp was clearly ready for it, but it was words of encouragement. Hey, don't need to go forward with it all the time. I'm back here. Play me if you need to. I'll be here if you need me. I was glad to see the freshman have that sort of confidence here early in a championship environment. Here's Sissoko, Lugo. Near side, plays Rodriguez, drops it back to Costa. Final one touches for the Grizzlies, but now a turnover. Almeida plays it up the way, intercepted by Anang. Anang cuts back to his right foot. And Hain got all the glory started yesterday with a goal for the Grizzlies in the 64th minute. As a result of many one-touches and many possessions, was able to post up his defender and get around him and have a shot on goal.
In the end, though, it was Aburame who came away with the game winner. His first one of the season and could not have been better timed.
What's interesting, Aburame will grab the headlines with the game winner, and you're rightfully so, but at the time you got to think, man, it was gravy. Go up 2-0 with 20-plus something minutes left, you got to think, man, it puts us in a real great position, and then lo and behold, just a couple of minutes later, the Cougars get the game tire, and all of a sudden now Aburame is the hero versus the insurance representative. Good physical hard challenge there. Burke and Hoffman going at it.
I'm curious to see if GGC does score first, if it will cause that trigger that sends Ashford into the next level, as we saw when Lindenwood Belleville scored last time, that just turned into a domination by Ashford after that point, or if they will try to go to that level and find that it's either not there or just that GGC is better.
Let me ask this question. I'm glad you brought that up, Nate. Who is it more important to in this game to score first?
Oh, GGC, definitely. They're the underdogs. They're the ones that are, don't have the playoff experience, as we mentioned. They're the ones I think it's crucial for them to score first, whereas if Ashford scores first, I think they're going to have even more confidence than they already do.
It's probably uncertain to settle that more than one goals will be scored in this contest, but I think you're right there because we've seen how the Saints have responded. We really haven't seen the Grizzlies become with a ton of adversity this season. They played from behind. They're lost their fair share of games. But, the Saints are clearly battle-tested. They can respond, and they can find that switch that we saw yesterday. We don't know if the Grizzlies have that switch, and I'd hate to find out.
Well, both of them are playing very well so far, and as you mentioned in a couple areas so far, we've been encouraged by the sportsmanship as well. Like there was a play a few minutes ago where two of the guys collided and they picked each other up, pat each other on the back, and kept going. I
think that's what's great about the A.I.I. We saw things get a great atmosphere and a great excitement last night during the women's game, and that's rightfully so. But these two teams must have nothing but respect for them because you only see them once a year. So there's not a whole lot of rivalries. That's one of the downsides of being independent. You don't see the same teams over and over. You really don't have scouting reports, and it's really kind of best man wins once you get to the A.I.I. tournament. Versus competing in a conference, more than likely you would have yourself missed touch there by a Nang. A little miscommunication. Sharp's going to have to clean that up. But you'd love to have some of the rivalries. But the good news is when you don't have those rivalries, here's the sportsmanship that exists because you just respect your opponent.
Fantastic save by Sissoko over here on the near side.
He's a little athletic. Here comes Ashford the other way. Ball played forward. Joseph with great tracking ability. Trapped it down. Morty toward Lugo. Lugo back toward the midfield here. Plenty of white shirts in front of him. Dumps it off to Rodriguez. Now he switches the field to Sissoko. Sissoko at the elbow. Stays on his left foot. Now cuts back to his right. Gets rid of it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez lets it roll, and that's well wide of the post.
Not a bad place to take a shot, though, just outside the 18. Definitely worth shooting there. 13 minutes in, 32 minutes to go here in the first half. Still tied up at 0-0.
The only number that sits up there on the scoreboard is the one corner kick the Grizzlies had. Ashford avoided. No problems. Kinsella. Header won by Ashford. Second header won by the Grizzlies. Rodriguez. Wide to Sissoko.
Doing a lot on this near side this half.
Sissoko at the elbow. Goes the end line. Near post. Nothing going. You see the demeanor of this Grizzly team. Very rewarding right now. Very appreciative of even the chances that they're trying to create. Not even real shots on goal or real opportunities, but just know that, again, the experience factor of never having been here, every possession that goes by, you build your confidence.
Well, yeah, that and how much they're possessing the ball. They've kept it on the Ashford side of the field quite a lot. And even when it's on their side, more times than not, they're the ones with the ball.
Grizzlies definitely the aggressor here in the first 15 minutes. Long ball played forward here. Bad first touch, settled by the Saints, and Nang takes control. Burke with an errant touch now. Nang with another steal. Now Rodriguez to Lugo. Two teamed up. Off to Geraldo. Geraldo needed help there as he had some heat from the backside from Almeida.
You can hear the talk. You heard about 3 or 4 people yelling, man on, as soon as that pass went out.
Ball rattling around to the near side here. We'll find the feet of Moda. Moda taken down there by Geraldo. German comes up with the foul. Lends a hand out there. Now the Saints will push numbers forward here with the ball right at midfield. Looking to play it long, and they do, but absolutely nobody home there for Ashford. Also, another programming note here. I want to make sure our fans are tuned in here. Stopped raining last night about 10 o'clock. Right when we left the facility here is right when it stopped raining. Hasn't rained since, so this field obviously drains perfectly, but the field is dry. You and I were down there earlier before the pregame, so ball shouldn't skip. The ball will play very true to the turf, and obviously that favors the Grizzlies, having this be their home facility.
Both teams making some use of the deep ball here early. Although that last one by Ashford kind of puzzled me. I'm not sure what they were going for with that other one.
And what's interesting, that's what reminded me of it. Yesterday, that ball skips out of bounds and goes for a goal kick. Here, it stays in play today. Morty advances. Dumps it off to DaCosta. DaCosta tried it with a one-touch, denied by Almeida. You get the sense the Grizzlies here trying to get their cleats synced in here to this championship game, but definitely attacking down the left side of the field here. Meanwhile, the Saints seem to be content with keeping the shots off goal.
Nice switch field there.
Lugo lets one fly well up and over the crossbar.
Definitely no shortage of power on the kicks for GGC so far today, just a little short on the accuracy.
And again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but with the inexperience, just let them go. You never know what's going to happen here, and you let that first one go, and you're able to kind of calmly relax and take a deep breath, and then you can settle into this game. I think the Grizzlies have done a fantastic job of that here already. Maybe ignorance is bliss.
We talked about that in the pregame. Can you treat it as just another game, or will you psych yourself out with the importance of it? 28 minutes to go here in the first half. Still scoreless.
This Ashford team somewhat new to the A.I.I. Not exactly as brand new as the Grizzlies, but Ashford's second year in the A.I.I. We're going to get a whistle on the dangerous play. Goes against Brown. He's not going to like it. But the second year in the A.I.I. for Ashford, last year they made the most of their opportunity getting to the championship game, and they actually ended up losing to Jamestown in California. Here's a ball played to the box over top of the head of Burke. Morty's going to give it chase here, unable to get to it in time. Sanchez there, able to put a cap on this bottle here. Sanchez with a great win. Sanchez trying to find Lugo, can't connect. Great sequence here, great hustle and great effort by Johan Sanchez, the senior.
Oh, misplayed that header, though.
Luckily, the Grizzlies have numbers back here. Cool, calm, and collectively there, and Ang plays Geraldo.
One thing we haven't mentioned too much because of how much the Grizzlies have possessed the ball, but Ashford really does have a very potent offense. If you give them any kind of chance for a counterattack, we're going to be looking at a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah. But I guess my question was, roundabout way, coming back to it, Ashford lost 3-0 to Jamestown in California, so this is nothing new for them, traveling a long way, being in the championship game. You would think they'd be able to draw from some of those experiences.
Well, yes and no. It's a while removed. It's a different field. It's a different opponent. And as mentioned previously, they have, a few of their key players, including Machado and Dreyer, are both freshmen. Also, Paul Letcham, another starter, is a freshman as well. So
Lucas Amadia, probably one of the leaders on the team, picked up assist in yesterday's contest, but was honorable mention All-American last year, was very much a part of this team. So perhaps he will be the one to draw inspiration the most from losing that championship game last year. But without a doubt, Ashford was able to catch an at-large bid into the A.I.I tournament. Made the most of it there, making it to the round of 16, but then exiting after it.
And going back to Almeida for a second, what a player he's been for them. Obviously, player of the year this year for the A.I.I, but he's also been all-conference first team all 4 years. Back when he was in the MCC, he was first team all-conference for that. And then 2 years he's been in the A.I.I. He's made first team all-conference there as well.
And normally, Nate, you would ask the question, most of these independents are trying to get into a conference. Why would a school like Ashford get out of a conference to be independent?
Well, you would actually know the answer to that better than I would.
Oh, fair enough. It all depends on the school, what their athletic department and what their school's vision is for where it's going and what it's trying to do. They maybe like the ability, Burke offside, airheader's not going to matter. But what their ability to freedom and schedule the way it is, or perhaps transitioning to something bigger as if going to the NCAA, the Division II or whatnot. I have no inside information on what Ashford's thinking, but Ashford, a roundabout way, doing the opposite of what most schools in the A.I.I get into the A.I.I, then look for a conference. Clearly, it's where George Gwinnett could possibly stand in the distant, short-term future, if that makes sense. Obviously, independent this year and next year, and okay with that, But it's interesting to see Ashford go the other way about doing it.
Well, I think even in this first year of their youthful existence, as far as playoff eligibility goes, I think they've definitely showed some conferences that they're worth having.
Not that we're counting this Grizzlies opportunity short, but 8 seniors going to be really difficult to place there for Coach DeCoux. He's got some good talent and good thoughts, but it's going to be an important recruiting class coming in here for Coach DeCoux, trying to advance this program.
Yeah, losing Figueroa, Matute, Joseph, Morrison, Milano, Burke, Sanchez, Inang. Of course, how big he's been throughout the year.
Here's a free kick opportunity for Ashford. 22nd minute, scoreless contest. They'll tee things up right in front of the Grizzly bench. This is Almeida. Low line drive to the near post. Swinging side volley by Geraldo clears things out of danger. There's a one-timer that ends up in the lights. Header won by Ashford. Far side again. Here's Almeida. Beats one defender, weaving his way through traffic. Takedown here. Here's a stub left foot. Ball into the box here. Denied by DaCosta. Second effort wide, and it's no good. We're going to get a goal kick for the Grizzlies. That is about the third time this season Patrick DaCosta has saved a goal for the Grizzly, with Lewis Sharp knocking down the first save and DaCosta coming up with the second.
Yeah, Almeida was not happy about that one. Same with Krautheim. They thought that it was a dangerous play from DaCosta, but I think it was a good no call from the ref there. Wasn't excessive, kicking at it when he was on the ground.
I tell you, the Grizzlies learned a tough lesson earlier this year from playing Embry-Riddle. It's not a matter of that you slide, it's how you slide. The Grizzlies had a couple of cleats up red cards in that contest, so they've actually learned a tough lesson on how to slide without being carded. So it sounds ridiculous, but we've learned that lesson. We understand how to take down, and obviously DaCosta getting the ball there helped a lot too, especially in the box.
Just stuck between
There's
the chest and the
By
back.
Burke. Burke into the attacking half. Burke with a left foot had it stuffed away. Fends over to Lapis Sissoko. Can't able to clear it out. Now a second effort with time and space is Hiller. Hiller keeps his dribble alive here. Tries to play the feet. Cannot temporarily, but Anang comes away with a long touch.
Talk about size in the back. How about Hiller?
Yeah.
He's the biggest player on the pitch for Ashford, I think.
Hiller only checks in at about 6'3", 6'4". Could probably play the swinging forward on some Ashford basketball teams. Saints in the attacking half, and Lewis Sharp comes away with a settle. Good to see Sweet Lou in the house. Lewis just beams Alex in the back, and now the Grizzlies a little breakdown. Bad pass by Sanchez, and now a rip, and the Grizzlies a little unorganized. Ashford smelling blood in the water. Can they pounce? Ball swung out to the far side. That's Dreyer. Tries to take it down the left side, take away by Sanchez. Sanchez can't save it from going out of bounds. Flag up on the far side. It'll be a throw in for the Saints.
Well, I think Sharp was trying to throw it to Sanchez and just missed the throw.
Alex got in the way with it. Alex lost focus. Lewis, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, shot comes ripping across here, and we're going to get our first yellow card of the contest as Mordi gets taken down.
Looking to see who that was on. Was that Hoffman, I think?
I'm not going to speculate. I'll wait till he turns himself. Free kick for Joseph Hill. Like to play it short to Morty. I got number 2 and Jordan Hoffman. Well done there, Nate.
No, I had an advantage on that one. I got to do play-by-play for the Ashford game yesterday, so recognized him. So after a couple times of having a couple defensive breakdowns, GGC back on the offensive attack now. And they'll get a corner kick. Number 2 of the day. Haven't given up any yet. So we tick down to just over 20 minutes left here in this first half. Been a great contest here so far. Hopefully you've been able to join us for the whole thing, and we'll be able to join us for the remainder.
Rodriguez will take his precious time here, going to the far corner. Grizzlies looking for a corner kick attempt here. They like to play it short. Lugo ends up with an elbow. Left-footed cross, back door, looking for Joseph, and it's headed away by the Saints defense. Here comes a counterattack. Grizzlies in full force trying to come back. Here's a long ball. Geraldo knocks it down. Anang in the midfield here. Here's where he can be dangerous. Lugo plays to the near side. Sissoko. Sissoko finds a short for Lugo. Sanchez wins it on the far side. Plays Morty. Too long of a pass here. Burke saves it from going out of bounds.
Look at this. Passing has just been brilliant for both teams. One touches, the intelligence of it.
Morty puts one on frame here. Knocked down by Kinsella. Can't keep it in play. So it'll be another corner kick here for the Grizzlies.
See, they've kind of gotten their mojo back for the attack. I think this is actually number 3. It's still showing 1 on the scoreboard,
I agree.
but I think this is number 3.
Rodriguez goes to the far side here. Brings Lugo with him, and they'll go short again. Rodriguez dumps it off to Lugo. Lugo with another left foot. This one's to the near post, headed away by the Saints. Chased down aggressively here by Croutham. Croutham plays a long ball, one-on-one. DaCosta calls off Sharp, says, I got it. Sharp says, I'm here for you, buddy, and he'll boot it away. Good recovery by the Grizzlies. They seem to be seasoned for that Saints counterattack.
That was picture-perfect response there.
Morty out to Rodriguez. Sanchez. Morty up the way to Lugo.
You see,
Wide to Burke.
after snuffing out the counter, they're right back the possession-style offense, working it methodically down the field.
Looking for a chip to Burke, couldn't connect. Loose ball in the midfield. Finds the green shirts. Rodriguez to Geraldo. Geraldo trying to find Rodriguez, couldn't connect. They were more than 30 minutes old here in the first half. Ball game tied here at 0-0.
Not quite. We're 27 and a half in.
We're close. 30 minutes into this contest or so. Tied at 0 here. With Ashford on average scoring more than 3 goals a game, being susceptible defensively. Of course, we're speaking statistically. Are you surprised they've played a complacent defense here, or should I say complacent attack, and really just taking the shots at the Grizzlies? The Grizzlies haven't really created too many goal-scoring opportunities, but this isn't exactly the philosophy we expected. We expected more of a high-octane attack for Ashford. Are you surprised they're just content with perhaps testing the Grizzly offense and just relying on counterattacks?
I'm actually not surprised that much. One because we saw how kind of, I don't want to say lackadaisically, but how they weren't quite all there in the first half last game. And even their coach insinuated this, that they've been a second-half team all year long, and they have a significant increase in goals in the second half than in the first, and that is reflected in the shot differential as well. So they have 37 more shots second halves than in first halves. And, so it doesn't surprise me, but I'm not entirely sure that that's going to work out to their favor.
So in your best guesstimate, you think this is par for course for Ashford in the first half. We could see something different in the second half.
I believe that's correct. I think especially if/when GGC scores, I think we're going to see them really kick it up a notch.
Kind of like a heavyweight fight. They're taking the jabs right now and waiting for the Grizzlies to throw a haymaker, and here comes the uppercuts for Ashford, right?
Something like that.
Joseph into the attacking half.
But, having only actually seen them play one game, it's hard to speculate too much. But based on the game I saw.
Here's Rodriguez looking for a through ball. Can't connect. However, it's fumbled by the Saints and now taken away by the Ashford defense. They'll get a play on here as Sissoko might have got a trap. Here's a long ball there. The Grizzlies are well-versed, ready for it. Sharp will call everybody off.
Yeah, they had 2 defenders back. Really no good chance for a counter at all. I don't know. Let me flip the question back on you. After you saw the Ashford game yesterday, are you surprised?
I would have thought, and again, this is before we had a chance to talk to Coach Markham. Sanchez, an overlapping run to the outside, looking for a cross. He'll fake with the right, come back with the left, toward the box for Lugo, and Lugo had the right idea, but the big, tall center back in Hiller took away that opportunity. Before we talked to Coach Markham, I would have suggested Ashford, the number 3 team in the country, Ashford averaging 3 goals per contest, Ashford having been in this championship game, was going to be the aggressor. It would have been up to the Grizzlies to figure out how to handle that. Since he said they've been a second-half team, I don't know if that answer was strategic or not. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, this is how we've played all year long. We've been a better second-half team. So that was my thoughts when I woke up this morning, but it seems to be working out for them here. They'll make a sub with 2 guys. Checking out will be Krautham and Ramirez.
Why is nobody on him?
And checking in is Cirilli. Ball into the box. Joseph plays out. Now weaving his way through traffic will be Moda. Moda sends it wide as it's deflected in the first corner kick for the Saints. Real quickly here, Murillo Cirilli checks in, as well as number 11, Johannes Langens.
Yeah, we saw Cirilli had a pretty decently big game yesterday. He's also one of 5 different Saints to have double-digit points on the year. 6 goals, 3 assists, and he is just a freshman.
Almeida outswinger to the penalty area. Nobody home for the Grizzlies there, and a huge missed opportunity there for Ashford, who was standing on the porch and had an open window and was unable to take advantage of that. As I believe that was the big fella, Hiller. He might have been too tall. I think the ball crossed him about his chest, and he couldn't get his head down quick enough to get something on it.
Yeah, that's kind of that terrible in-between zone where it's too high for you to get your foot on it, but it's too low for you to get your head on it. And, oh, boy, I bet he wishes he had that one back.
Absolutely. Another sub here for the Saints. So I believe Moda will get a breather. Checking in for him will be number 19 and Scott Lennon. Lennon, another one of the handful of boys from across the pond. Long ball here for Sissoko. Cuts back to his right foot. Dumps it off. Lugo sails that one up over the RV.
Wasted opportunity there, as that was a really nice setup by Sissoko. He got that under control perfectly, juked out his man, and put a perfect pass right across the middle of the box. Lugo popping it up. Bet Lugo wishes he had that one back, too.
Yeah.
Guess he just got his foot underneath it.
True.
12 minutes to go here in the first half. Still knotted up at 0-0. Or 0-0 if you're a soccer purist.
Throw in for the Saints midfield here, knocked out by the Grizzlies.
Maybe
Hoffman
a
will
little bit of a
advance.
high kick there.
Hoffman will advance about 30 yards and try it again. We're under the lights here on a Saturday night, and you can leave the lights on as long as you want to. Anything's better than what we had yesterday. Ball played toward the penalty here, DaCosta's goal side. Soko short to Rodriguez, who finds DaCosta. Back to Geraldo. Grizzlies got to be careful here. All the way back to Sharp. He won't waste any time. He'll get a good boot on it. No whistle here. Sanchez called for the same thing earlier.
Yeah, I think Ledgeham was kind of climbing up over top there. Came up empty.
Sanchez accurate the header here. Finds Morty.
I hate to say it, but sometimes it's whether or not your player falls over. You can do the same thing, and if one player falls over and the other doesn't, first guy will get the call and the second guy won't.
Morty clears things out of danger here. Saints knocking on the door. We get another whistle and a sub here. I should say whistle. Horn is going to be a sub, and I believe Essie Aburame is going to step on for Ibrahima Sissoko.
Great half so far for Sissoko. He's opened up a lot of opportunities down here on the near side. Nothing to be ashamed of for him for his 34 and a half minutes of play.
Joseph will get a ball at midfield here. Not too many sizable options into the box. He'll send a low line drive here. Handled nicely by Hiller. Saints trying to get numbers forward here. Geraldo ends up on his backside. Somehow gets possession, but then swing and a miss there on the volley. Looking for a through ball here, and Ang denies. Rodriguez with a touch to Geraldo. Can't connect with Burke. A whistle and a foul here going against Geraldo. Aburame will occupy that target forward position. Meanwhile, Martin Lugo will move to the left striker position as Sissoko comes out.
Couldn't quite control the momentum there, and it's a key part of whether or not you'll get whistled. Hiller's not too happy about something. He's giving the referee an earful.
Here come the Saints. An opportunity to steal that halftime locker room. He'll drop it back.
I was wondering when you're going to work your favorite phrase in there.
Here come Ashford. Morty denies temporarily. Long ball played toward the backside here. A lot of white shirts. Sanchez wins the first hitter, not the second. Grizzlies vulnerable here. Joseph comes and helps out. Ball to the penalty area. Struck away by DaCosta.
You're starting to see some glimpses of just how explosive the Saints offense can be.
Morty overmatched there versus Lennon. Now we're going to get Geraldo a little out of control. So he'll be called for the foul. Now the Saints will be in the danger zone.
Oh boy, that looked like a clean scissor to me, but you know, you play the game you're given. Right now, you just need to play defense on this free kick, which has danger written all over it.
Taking the kick will be Brown. Size into the box for the white shirts. 6 of them in total, but 2 big targets in Hiller and Lennon. Here comes the attempt. Low line drive. Looking for a flick, maybe a handball. We still clear things out of danger. Aburame 3-on-1 gets taken down there. No whistle and play continues. Ball swung to the near side here. Lugo comes flying in here, and as does Rodriguez. Lennon can't get to it in time. It'll be a throw in for the Saints. Now we're going to get a stoppage in play, and I got a feeling here there's going to be a yellow card issued here for dissent.
Is that on Hiller?
No, that was on Hiller trying to be the negotiator for
Ledsham?
Ledsham definitely receives it, and that was for dissent because Ledsham wasn't even involved in either one of those collision plays that happened just before that throw-in.
And if anybody should have been upset, I think it would have been GGC, as they ended up on the worst end of both of those.
So Ledsham there uses one of the words the referees doesn't like too much. He'll be booked in the contest.
It's our second booking so far.
Ledsham in 4 yellow cards. The way the yellow cards work in terms of accumulation will be 5 in the regular season in the conference tournament. But once you get to the national tournament, it kind of resets. So no real threat here for Ledsham moving forward.
Saying DaCosta had a little bit too much shoving going on there. Inside 7 minutes to go. Now, is it still 5 in the national tournament, or is the number reduced?
I knew you were going to ask that as soon as I said it. I'm not sure. I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, I wish I had that one back because I don't know the follow-up. I do know 5 and 8 are the danger numbers. That's when you have to sit out of suspension. So I don't know if they give you 3 at the national tournament. I'm not exactly sure. Here's a free kick for the Saints. This is pressure. Sharp will come out and secure it nicely. There's the adjustments the Grizzlies made from yesterday. A similar ball, the Grizzlies had too deep of a line, held that one pretty high, and gives Sharp some freedom to come out and use his height. Lugo comes down the left side here looking for some help. Lugo still dribbling from midfield all the way to the 18.
Oh, nice footwork.
Shake and bake on the one guy. Goes to the back door, and Kinsella just get his paws on it. It'll go out of bounds for a GGC corner kick. Their 4th of the first half.
Best shot of the day so far. That one coming off the foot of Martin Lugo, your team leader in both goals and points.
If you're the Grizzlies here, you saw the goal that Kinsella gave up yesterday. Saw him struggle with that high ball. You got to think to challenge Kinsella up top shelf. That's why the Grizzlies may have let some of these shots go early. Lugo will take the corner on the far side. 40th minute. Lugo will use the left foot. It's a low line drive. Nobody home. Geraldo will chase it down. Try to turn the corner. Beats one defender, but not the second. Go out of bounds off a white shirt. Green throw in. Got some special activities for all the folks here on the Grizzly Digital Network. We'll have the A.I.I welcome, as we've had all weekend long. We'll also have Director of Athletics here, George Gwinnett, and Darren Wilson, talking about hosting this A.I. tournament, what it means for this program, and the future it holds with the Grizzlies. Here's a flick on for Ashford and a chance to be in space. Sanchez shoulder to shoulder on a fantastic run there. Avoids the threat. Sharp poaches it up to midfield. Geraldo with a header.
It's been really encouraging to see how much they've involved Sharp in the game and the way he's really stepped up in that role.
And I know Lewis is a great talent. This is not a questioning his ability at all. Burke with a running header there, denied by Hoffman. But he's still a freshman. I can't get past that thought. He's very much a freshman. So to get him just involved in this game, it kind of gets that nervousness, that jitters, that experience or inexperience out of the way.
Down to 4 minutes left on the clock here in the first half.
Substitution, I believe, for the Saints checking on is Darwin Carranza. He'll check in for Almeida, so he'll get a extended halftime breather. Decent crowd on hand too as well for this contest. Seeing a lumps of the female Grizzlies in the house supporting their fellow male comrades. Counterparts, I should say here. Rodriguez will be called for a push. Ashford might have petitioned for that one and granted by the judge.
I don't know. It looked like there was a good bit going both ways from our seat up here.
Long ball issued by Machado. Targeting Lennon. Him and Joseph both missed. And now Sharp comes out there. And Renee follows the chain of command, lets it roll, and Sharp comes away with a nail-biting save. And I mean save in the sense of the word, preventing a goal, not necessarily coming up with a statistical save. Costa and Geraldo working together here. Now back to Anang. Parallel pass to Joseph. Joseph looking here in the 43rd minute. Lennon just shoves down Morty. And now Lennon is going to be on the unfortunate end here of perhaps at the very least counseling or at the very worst a yellow card. And I'm going to defend Lennon here in this situation. Nate, you can take the other hand. I don't think Lennon was still playing somewhat to the echo of the whistle. I think the foul came. Ball was still in play. He was just challenging for it. Joseph actually went up to go grab it with his hands and collided with Lennon. I think that's an unfortunate circumstance.
I actually thought that on the very initial hit that Lennon more or less stood his ground.
I thought so too.
Talked about with the guy who goes to the ground getting the foul sometimes, and I think that was the case. Lennon is a big guy and really didn't even move much.
One by Nang. Up to Lugo. Back to Geraldo, and now released to Anang. Wide to the Costa. To the midfield for Rodriguez. Geraldo looking for a switch. You can tell the Saints have picked up the intensity here over the last 15. Sanchez sprints down the right side. Still moving forward. Nobody's picked him up. Now a left-footed shot here, and Kinsella will take it nicely. Sanchez runs about 80 yards on the play and gets a shot on goal.
He never hurts. You never know if it's going to be misplayed, misdirected. Can't score if you don't shoot.
90 seconds to play here till halftime. Ashford battling for possession here, and a foul issued on Sanchez.
That one, I thought he was on the receiving end.
So the Saints will tee this one up.
Big chance for them here with just over a minute to go.
They're looking about inside 30 yards there.
1 minute remaining in the half.
As Sharp will get his wall straight. They'll call for a 3-man wall, now even a 4th. They'll be right at the 18-yard box, which according to referee's math, this will be from 28 yards out. 5 white shirts go just inside the penalty box. Here comes a right foot. This one will in sync towards Sharp, and Sharp will have it nicely there. Good strike by Machado.
They've got 30 seconds to try to push a counter, should they choose.
Sharp will put it on the turf here. Pushing everybody forward. Trying to target a Burome, but Hoffman wants no part of that. Burke with a rebound. Now a settle by Moda. Moda going to the wide side of the field. Will dump it off to Hoffman. 15 seconds exactly to play here. Sanchez will control it. Now it gets tied up with Lennon. We're going to get a handball, and now the final seconds will tick away here in the first half. The horn will make it official.
3, 2, 1, 0.
So that'll do it here for the first half of play of the A.I.I. Championship, as history has repeated itself in day 2 without a first half goal on the men's bracket.
Yep, it's been an exciting half, and I think if I had to assign a winner to the half, I think I'd still give it to GGC, but Ashford, you could definitely see them starting to ramp up the intensity in the second part of that half, and expect a great second half here coming up.
We will step aside for just a moment. We want to thank all of our fantastic sponsors that have made this weekend possible. Gwinnett Medical Center, proud to be the official healthcare provider of Georgia Gwinnett College, and Grizzly Athletics. Wayne Gunner and Gunner Automotive, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer. Napa Know-How. Sports Medicine South, your sports medicine and orthopedic specialist, founded by Dr. Gary Levengood, proud partner of Grizzly Athletics. You see Dr. Levengood's fantastic RV that sits behind the goal there, treating all the student athletes here for this weekend's A.I.I. tournament. We'll take a break here momentarily, and speaking of the A.I.I. tournament, we'll have Director of Athletics Darren Wilson here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Hello, I'm Dr. Darren Wilson, Director of Athletics at Georgia Gwinnett College. Our administrators, coaches, and staff are proud to be one of the newest members in the NAIA. We aim to uphold the NAIA Champions of Character principles by promoting a positive climate for growth while fostering relationships within Georgia Gwinnett College, Lawrenceville, and Gwinnett County. In addition, we embrace our core values for the Grizzly Athletic Department: sportsmanship, leadership, service, responsibility, and pursuing excellence. Our mission is to develop lifelong leaders of character through academic and athletic excellence. Go Grizzlies!
Grizzly fans, you can purchase your season passes today. Packages are available for the fall or spring or all sporting events throughout the 2013-14 season. You can find out more information by calling the Office of Athletics at 678-407-5275 or by visiting the game day ticket window. Single game discounts are available on game day, including youth, senior, military, and group rates. Tickets are selling fast as the Grizzlies take the field and compete for postseason championships for the very first time. We invite you to come experience fast-paced collegiate athletics at a friendly price. Visit grizzlyathletics.com for more information and be sure to purchase your season tickets today.
Hi, I am Ian Potter, Assistant Athletics Director for Compliance and Academics at Georgia Gwinnett College. As a member of the NAIA, Georgia Gwinnett College is responsible for the actions of its coaches, student athletes, faculty and staff, fans, boosters, and alumni. We are committed to the principle of institutional control and operate in our athletics program in a manner consistent with the letter and spirit of the NAIA and Georgia Gwinnett College. We expect our student athletes to be model students in the classroom by offering academic support services in a variety of ways throughout their collegiate career. From study halls and tutoring to mentoring and personal growth and development training, GGC puts academic success at the forefront of our mission. Go Grizzlies!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Grizzly Digital Network. We're at halftime of the A.I.I Men's Championship game between Georgia Gwinnett and Ashford. We're joined now by Director of Athletics, Dr. Darren Wilson here at Georgia Gwinnett. Darren, how are we doing today?
Doing very well, Matt. Excited to be here and be part of this tournament.
I tell you what, I know a lot of things go in behind the scenes to hosting this tournament. It started all the way back last spring almost. What were the first initial steps to winning this bid?
Well, certainly we wanted to apply for the bid just because we've got these fantastic facilities here. So that was probably the first thing we decided that we wanted to have a chance to participate and host with the A.I.I. But we put in a bid. It goes to the executive committee of the conference, which I happen to sit on. But anytime you sit on that executive council, you don't vote for the bid. So we've got several different institutions that will vote along the way, and so we recluse ourselves in terms of that. But we were awarded the bid, and you're exactly right. I tell you what, our staff has done just an outstanding job of preparation because we've spent literally months getting ready for this tournament, and Sean Gillespie, who's served as the tournament director, has done just an outstanding job, and Ned Colgrove, our assistant AD for marketing and communications, and Aaron Price with all of our business relations and all of the things that have gone into the hotels and just everything else behind the scenes. Mike Smith with our corporate sponsorships, and then of course you bringing all these games over the last 2 days to all of our fans.
Two events have probably happened over the past weekend, or maybe I'll ask the question. Has something happened maybe since the banquet yesterday, today, that's made you appreciate hosting this tournament? Perhaps, and the two things that stick out in my mind were to see all the student athletes in the banquet, not in practice gear, like we always see them in a different light.
Absolutely. Great question. I mean, we thought that last night would be a great atmosphere, and I think certainly you saw that. We had a great crowd for our men's game really yesterday afternoon with all of the inclement weather that we had. I mean, we've watched the weather all week, and it was supposed to be 60 with a little overcast on Friday, and it was 47 with torrential downpours. And, again, kudos to all of those with planning with our field, because as you noticed yesterday, we had a lot of rain, no puddles out there on the field. Of course, it's synthetic turf, and again, just really glad we made the decision to go that route too, because we would have an absolute mess out here today if that had been natural grass.
Obviously invested in both Dominic Martelli's team and Steve DeCou's team here. Glad to see one of them here in the championship game. But all things considered here, beside being the AD, very much a fan of both these teams. What has Coach DeCou accomplished this season in your eyes?
Well, I think both coaches, to be honest with you, Matt, have accomplished a lot. I sent a text and actually tweeted last night to Dom, just 14 wins in year two.
Yeah.
Same thing for Coach DeCou with Steve. I mean, 14 wins in year two. You can't script it much better than that. Now, obviously, if we could get a win right here and get our first championship under our belt, that would be just icing on the cake as far as the fall goes. But we've had two wonderful fall soccer seasons, and couldn't be more pleased with where our soccer teams are headed. Like I said, in year two of existence, I mean, you think back a year and a half ago, we're sitting in a kudzu field right here. Yeah. So it's pretty remarkable with all of the help that we've had at the college, in the city, and in the county is what's been accomplished thus far.
If you can, maybe short term, next year, year after, what's the future hold for this Grizzlies department, or this Grizzlies soccer program that you can control?
Well, we want to do some things to upgrade the facilities. You've known me a long time now. I'm not one to sit back and just enjoy what we have. So our fans can see our stands that are down here. We want to get you in a nice press box and add some more seating down here, because, like I said, we've had just great support this year from the community here with our Grizzly family. Also, you can tell around the perimeter of the field here, we've got a gravel substance that works out pretty well, but we're going to change that. We're going to put asphalt around the entire perimeter of the venue, and it's really going to clean things up. It'll give our some of our activities courses a place to come and walk and do some of those types of things. But we just want to continue. You know, the viewers that saw your early broadcast and now they've seen the trees that have gone up. We've got some windscreen and some things that we want to do. So we just want to continue to improve the facility.
Any predictions here for the second half?
We just want to keep playing well. I mean, I think, you know, again, not being probably a soccer connoisseur, as I'm sitting there watching, I feel pretty good about the pace of play and the way we're controlling the ball. I think, you know, we kept looking last night, and again, tough situation last night with the rain coming down, but it felt like our girls were really in a hurry all night last night. I didn't see that today. It looks like we're trying to control the ball, and you know, Steve does a great job getting his teams prepared for big games.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting. I mean, you're playing the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
In your second year of existence, and it's 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
You got to feel pretty good about yourself.
Well, without a doubt, you said it, maybe not the soccer connoisseur that you are, but I've known you long enough to know probably the highlight of your soccer fanhood would have been yesterday with Renee's goal. A bunch of us underneath the tent here, and it's my regret not having a picture of just everybody absolutely erupting at the same time. What a great moment.
No, it's huge. It's huge. And you know, it's one of the pleasures of this job. And as you know, you get to know these players, you get to know the athletes personally, and you're pulling for them. You know, obviously we're pulling for GGC and we're pulling for the Grizzlies, but we're pulling for them individually. And same thing, that's, you know, it's heartbreaking for our women to lose last night because, you know, they've laid it all out on the line. You see them in the training room every day, especially with our facility now, because we've got so much more contact with our student athletes than what we did last year.
Well, Darren, appreciate you jumping on board here and educating the folks. Try to enjoy the second half as much as you can. Okay?
We'll do it, Matt. And again, great job to you and your crew. You guys do a wonderful job, and I know the Grizzly Nation really appreciate everything that you guys do.
Appreciate it, sir. We'll take another break, and we'll come back here in just a moment, and we'll have your first half stats and second half adjustments. This is the Grizzly Digital Network.
Are you tracking the very latest with Grizzly Athletics? Stay up to date by following Grizzly Athletics on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can join the conversation by using the hashtag Grizzly Athletics all season long. And as always, catch all the recaps, stats, and news on GrizzlyAthletics.com. Don't be left out. Follow all the latest with Grizzly Athletics online.
Welcome to Georgia Gwinnett College, located in the heart of Gwinnett County in Lawrenceville, Georgia, just 30 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta. GGC opened its doors in 2006 as the first four-year public college created in the 21st century in the United States. With an enrollment of 9,400 students, 12 majors, cutting-edge technology, and state-of-the-art facilities, the 2014 U.S. News & World Report ranked Georgia Gwinnett College at number 5 in the public southern region. On June 27, 2012, GGC broke ground on a $13.5 million project which developed into the Grizzly Athletics facilities you see today. The 25,000 square foot Grizzly Athletic Complex houses the Grizzlies' locker rooms, weight rooms, team meeting rooms, training rooms, coaches, and administrative offices. The student athletes embody the Grizzly Athletics core values: sportsmanship, leadership, responsibility, service, and the pursuit of excellence. The Grizzlies athletic staff represents the commitment to develop lifelong leaders of character through academic and athletic excellence. Georgia Gwinnett, with its 6 varsity sports, are proud members of the A.I.I and excited about the opportunity to compete with the other Associate of Independent institutions. We welcome all friends, families, and alumni to our campus. We hope you have the opportunity to explore our beautiful community, and we hope you enjoy your stay in Gwinnett County. Welcome to Lawrenceville, welcome to Georgia Gwinnett, and welcome to the A.I.I Tournament. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Grizzly Digital Network, here at the Grizzly Soccer Field. We're at halftime, 0-0 between Georgia Gwinnett and Ashford. Locked up at 0-0 here. We appreciate our fantastic sponsors, Nuke's Eatery, Nuke's Catering, Dine-In, or Grab and Go. Visit your local Nuke's today. Nuke's Eatery and the Grizzlies, a winning team. Homewood Suites by Hilton in Duluth. Make yourself at home. Also the Hampton Inn in Duluth. At Hampton, we love having you here. Keller Williams is the fastest growing real estate company in North America. Find out why. Call local realtor in Gwinnett County, Larry Parker, today. Keller Williams, proud sponsor of the Grizzlies. And, of course, Hilton Garden in Duluth, everything right where you need it. And, Nate, you can vouch for the Hilton Garden in Duluth, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Good quality, good hospitality, good service, too?
Overall, yes.
It's right where you need it, right?
Yes, it's it'd be great if I could teleport between there and here, but I can't. So
Fair enough.
for where it is, it's very good.
Stuck in a little Gwinnett County Gwinnett County traffic from time to time, but you got our first half stats there. Why don't you let us know what's going on?
Well, it has been pretty quiet statistically, although Georgia Gwinnett has outshot Ashford 8-2. Both teams boasting just one shot on goal. That is coming from Johan Sanchez and Fernando Machado, and correspondingly one save each for Ashford keeper Patrick Kinsella and for GGC netminder Lewis Sharp. We have had a 4-1 advantage in corner kicks for the Grizzlies as opposed to the Saints, and also they have a 9-3 edge in fouls as well. It's been a little testy at times, but both cautions have come against Ashford. One coming against Jordan Hoffman at 24:02, and then another coming against Paul Ledsham at 37:49. Just one offside, and we are underway here in the second half.
Second half getting ready to go here. Grizzlies will wear the green uniforms and go left to right. Meanwhile, Ashford, the home white uniforms, and go right to left. Don't fix your dial or computer screen there. Ashford is the home team, even though we're playing in Lawrenceville. 4-3-3 lineup here for the Grizzlies. Ashford off to a quick start here down to the left side. This is going to be Ramirez. He cuts back against Sanchez. Dumps it back to the midfield. 4-3-3 here for the Grizzlies. Lewis Sharp back inside the post is where he's been every single second of the season so far. And Nang and Joseph will play the center back position. Sanchez to the right, DaCosta to the left. Interior midfield remains the same. Rodriguez, Geraldo, and Morty. Target forward up top will be Martin Lugo. Burke goes to the left and Sissoko to the right. Same starting 11 for Deku in the second half as was in the first half.
Well, we know both from watching last game and from Coach Markham's comments that Ashford has all season long tended to be a second half team, so it's going to be imperative that GGC keep up the effort, and if they can ratchet it up a notch or two themselves, that would definitely help out their cause.
Same story for the Saints here in the second half for Coach Markham. Cancelo back between the posts. The starting lineup: Hoffman, Ledson, Brown, Moda, Almeida, Dreyer, Hiller, Crantham, Machado, and Ramirez will start here in the second half of their 4-3-3 attack as well. Sanchez will get it down the right side here. Plays it forward to Rodriguez. Tries to settle now. Sissoko too close of capacity there to play a through ball. Two of them trying to get on the same page.
Sissoko actually attacking the right side. It's still the near side for us, but for him it'd be the opposite side, so to speak.
Yeah. Sissoko with a settle here. Chip to the near side, had it knocked away. Throw in for the Grizzlies here on the near side. Sanchez trying to find Lugo on the baseline. Lugo will come to the near side. It's challenged by Machado, and he'll come away with the win. Machado can't beat Sanchez, so he'll dump it off. Here's Dreyer. Dreyer switched the field to the far side. Here's a touch into the box. Out comes Sharp. Here's a save by Lewis Sharp. Good look there for Almeida, and Sharp comes out and cuts down the angle.
Yeah, I was about to comment on the defensive breakdown with the miles of space open on that far side of the field for Almeida to work with, but credit Sharp, came up huge right there.
Here's Lugo trying to find Sissoko on a through ball. Surrounded by white shirts. He'll let the left foot go, and it sails over the crossbar. Good thought there by Sissoko.
Yeah, keep challenging up top. 3 minutes in here to the second half. Both teams picking up some offense quickly.
Based on what we saw yesterday here, Nate, we saw the Saints find another gear, a second level, if you may. The third team in the country really showed themselves in the second half yesterday versus Belleville. Do you expect that again here today, or do you think maybe we saw that in the first half?
Well, I think they can still play better. They didn't play badly in the first half by any stretch. They played well, but I think they can play better. I don't think we've seen the number 3 team in the nation just yet. But on the flip side, I think we could still see a little better out of GGC as well.
Foul committed on the near side here against GGC. Almeida will tee it up. about 45 yards, just off to the near sideline. He'll strike with his right foot. Headed away by Joseph. It tattoos Rodriguez on the thigh. And Joseph will chase it down here and try to relieve the pressure. Dangerously drops it back to Sharp. No real threat from Ashford. Sharp with a boot. Beyond midfield. Lugo trying to get his head on, and he's denied by Machado. Loose ball chased down by Rodriguez. Rodriguez coming to the near side. Had his momentum stopped here. Sissoko keeps his dribble.
That's a great give and go.
Sissoko in at the elbow. Sissoko had it taken away there by Wolfman. Now here's a cross into the box. Headed away by Hillard. Geraldo comes with the loose ball. He'll let it fly, and he kicks that one to the next county.
I don't know, both off of the feet and heads, it seems like the ball is just flying away today. I don't know if they add a little bit of extra air to it or what, but it seems to really be going.
My only guess would be, based on the conditions from yesterday, you have heavy socks and heavy shoes with all the rain. Your body didn't play very fast yesterday. Today, you probably feel like you've shed about 10 to 15 pounds, and so everything's quicker, so your strike on the ball is probably a little bit faster and a little bit heavier than what it was yesterday.
Now with Ashford, I think one thing that was interesting last game is it wasn't just when they scored that they hit into that next level. I think it was really when they got scored on.
Correct.
That they really cranked it into high gear. So I'm interested to see what will happen. Obviously, we're hoping GGC scores at some point. And if they should score first, I'm very interested to see how Ashford will respond. Because with every minute that ticks down, it's not really working in either team's favor because neither team has the lead.
Sissoko will step in front of a pass here. Grizzlies have numbers 3-on-2 here. Sissoko trying to draw an extra defender. He'll come to the near side, but now the Saints have retreats and have numbers back. Plays it short to Rodriguez. Rodriguez plays it up to Lugo. Lugo touches it off to Sissoko. Sissoko into the box on his left foot. Comes it back to Lugo. Give it goes. Sissoko left foot. Goal! Ibrahima Sissoko puts home the first goal of the Grizzlies for today as Georgia Gwinnett is on top 1-0.
I was saying to myself, why is Lugo not shooting that? But wow, was that a brilliant pass and great patience on Sissoko's part to not run past the defense till after the ball had been played. It would be a shame to get all the way down there and then get whistled for offside. Perfect timing. And how about the finish? Left foot curling into the left side of the net. 1-0 GGC lead. And now what will Ashford do in response?
Sissoko picks up his 5th goal of the year. Already has a team best 3 game-winning goals on the season. Could it be number 4? Could it be a championship? Could it be history in the making right in front of your eyes?
Well, it could be, but we've got over 38 minutes till we find out.
Lewis Sharp will take the goal kick here to the near side.
Just a little bit of a rewind. Remember, GGC struck first against Cal State San Marcos and then got one more, but then gave up a goal. Obviously, we know they're able to hold on. They play great defense, only allowed 17 goals all year, 7 shutouts. But this is a very talented offense they're going up against, and that was a pretty decent attempt on goal right there. So it'll be interesting to see if the GGCD can hold.
Mark with a left foot there, blasted over the crossbar. Not a bad effort. Lugo will get credit for the assist for GGC. That'll be his team tying 6th assist along with German Rodriguez, who picked up his 6th yesterday.
We got a Lamborghini coming to see our game.
Don't worry about your average baby blue Lamborghini flying past Grizzly soccer field. That's definitely a first.
I think that's the first time I've seen a blue Lamborghini.
Rodriguez comes to the near side looking for another through ball. Sissoko into the box. Had it knocked away, but he'll chase down possession. He'll actually let it go out of bounds and smartly will wind up a corner kick for Georgia Gwinnett.
They had a 4-1 edge in that category in the first half.
You're right, Nate. No need to stare at that clock and watch it count down. There is too much time left in this game. Lugo will play it short to Rodriguez. They'll take advantage of the 2-on-1. Lugo with the elbow, slides it back out to Sissoko. Sissoko dropped it off. Geraldo with a low line drive there. Butted down by Ledsam. Here come the Saints. Now they've got numbers 3-on-2 here. Near side. Almeida taking on Sanchez. Great defensive stop there by Sanchez. He'll make him look silly too in the process. He'll clear that one out wide to the near side.
That easily could have been a whistle and a foul because Almeida came up, didn't get any of the ball, came up with his leg up, and it looked more like an attack than a challenge. I think he got away with one right there.
Ramirez with some real estate to the near elbow. Sanchez again steps in front of a great ball. Johan now dumps it off to Rodriguez. Dumps it back to Geraldo. Plays space to Burke. DaCosta. Off to Burke. Ball played across the 18. Now here's a one-timer, but Sharp's all over his post. A little time and space for Almeida, which causes some discomfort for Joseph.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to figure out how he got that one, because it wasn't even that sharp of a pass across. But for the moment, we are in the second half, and Georgia Gwinnett hosting its first ever A.I.I. tournament has the 1-0 lead here in the second half.
There's a ball to the end line here, knocked out by Sissoko, throwing for the Saints. Ball rattling around here. Morty plays it up to Lugo. Lugo trying to settle and cannot. Now this one's touched out of bounds now by Morty.
Well, I have still been very, very impressed with GGC's possession, with their passing, and their patience especially. You saw it big time on that goal. Willing to work just a yard at a time.
We're going to get a foul here that's going to go against the Saints. Initially blown in the direction of the Grizzlies there, and the bench wanted to remind the referee that he just simply pointed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, the fans were not too thrilled about that call. But he corrected it. That's what matters.
Grizzlies a chance to get numbers forward here. Geraldo will tee this one up. 45-plus yards from the end line. Saints will hold at the 18. Geraldo with a touch right in the mouth of the goal. Burke rises to the occasion. It's knocked down to the penalty spot and cleared out by Ashford. Here they come in the counterattack.
That was a high kick.
Good header there by Sanchez to avoid the threat. There's a loose ball for Sissoko trying to get inside Hoffman. He does. Sissoko goes to the end line there, taken down. Great tackle there by the center back for the Saints at number 23, Machado. Veteran move by just a freshman.
And that is not the typical thing you'll see a freshman do. That was a fantastic play. A lot of freshmen are going to be hesitant to do that because they're afraid they're going to get whistled for in the box, lead to a penalty kick. That would double the lead, but smart play, able to get all ball on it. Well, the fans may not have been too thrilled. That was a good play.
Rodriguez ropes to the far side for Lugo. Lugo weaving his way into the box. Lugo left foot, blast that one over the crossbar.
See, they're still challenging high most of the time.
Lugo's got the right idea, but I think he's not calibrated correctly today. I think his sights are not honed in to where he normally is. He's never missed 3 shots that badly in a game before.
I think we'll forgive him for that fantastic work he did with Sissoko, though.
Couldn't agree more. Just trying to bring light to the situation, and something's off with the shot right now. By no means will I punish him for his effort, though.
Yeah, Lugo, when he gets it on goal, he's scored on over half of his shots on goal, 8 out of 18 so far this year. Sorry, that's almost half, not over half. See, I even correct my own math sometimes.
Fair enough.
It's over half of his shots are on goal.
There you go.
Because 18 out of 33, so
Indeed.
I'll get it right eventually.
Ashford with a throw in on the near side. Morty with a challenge and too rough with it, and the referee will blow the whistle.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I have.
All of a sudden, we're going to get a stoppage and a yellow card issued to Juan Geraldo for dissent. I like the referee sticking up for himself. Very seldom do I appreciate a referee that forces his will on players, but something as simple as talking back or, addressing the referee in a negative manner, the referee wants no part of that. He demands respect, and I like that.
Yeah, I wish they did that in the NBA a little more often. You see how often Let's start doing the tees a little more often there, but
Ball played short here, and great win there by Morty. Much shorter in stature, but rises to the occasion. Sanchez finds Rodriguez, and
look at this
here
counter.
come the Grizzlies. Great through ball to Sissoko.
Shoot
Sissoko onto the elbow. Right foot trying to go high, and Kinsella will come away with it. I think Sissoko was trying to get to the back door to Burke and just couldn't get his toe around the front of the ball.
either way, it was a good put. Forced him to go up for it. That was a great counterattack.
Ledson now to the near side for Almeida. Plays it wide to Ramirez. Working on Sanchez. Ramirez finally gets some redemption. Now he'll get into the box, going to the end line. Left foot sled tackle down by Joseph. Knocked away by Geraldo, and now Sanchez will play the pass. Flicks it on to Sissoko. Last touched by Hoffman.
And GGC is playing like a team that has to win. We commented on this yesterday, but with the number 3 ranking, Ashford very likely does not need to win to go on to the next stage of the tournament, Nationals, whereas GGC, they need it right on the bubble of the top 25. A win here would guarantee them a spot, whereas Ashford will probably still make it in even with a loss.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Nate. I've got some information for you thanks to a couple of the Raiders that are good friends of mine. Get to some information that tomorrow is the A.I.I field will be announced for both the men's and women's tournament. Cross toward Ibra, couldn't get to it. But tomorrow the field will be announced for the A.I.I tournament. Some of the deadlines and times that our fans need to remember, or even Ashford's fans, will be the RPI and the 32 qualifying teams will be announced at 7 p.m. Sunday night. Don't be surprised if that sneaks out just a little bit early there. And then the actual bracket will be announced at 2 o'clock on Monday. So about 4 o'clock on Sunday, the teams will actually be notified that they've made the national field. It will be released to the public about 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then the bracket, the pairings of where you will go for the opening round will be announced on Monday. So obviously Ashford with a loss here will be glued to their computer screens all day long tomorrow waiting for that 32-team field to be announced. For the Grizzlies, it's do or die here. You're going to play next Saturday, or your season's done today, and you'll know that with a win here over the next 30 minutes.
Now, question, since with a win here, they would be kind of the winners of their conference, so to speak.
Correct.
Would they be allowed to host the first game?
Not likely, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a new coaches poll that comes out tomorrow, too. So, based on the coaches poll, the Grizzlies may climb up into the top 25, but I don't think it'll garner enough votes to be high enough to be one of the top 16 teams. Grizzlies a little unorganized defensively here. Saints knocking on the door. Ball's knocked up by Geraldo here, and nice job by Sharp to keep it in play. So Ashford will still be high enough to probably host at an at-large for an opening round. Even if the Grizzlies win here, Ashford probably won't drop outside of the top 10 because it's still a full body of work. Same story for the Grizzlies. They may be climbing to the top 25, maybe as high as number 20 with the new poll that comes out tomorrow. If they win. If they don't win, they're still going to float around there just outside the top 25 more than likely, and the at-large bids will run out somewhere in front of them. And again, only there's 23 teams that qualify automatically. And obviously the winner of this A.I.I tournament will get that berth, and then there's 9 at-large teams. So those 9 at-large berths is what needs to be determined based on that coaches poll that will be released tomorrow.
So the big determinant for both these teams is how many of the conference winners are in the top 25 already.
Exactly, and for Ashford, there's no way there's 9 teams that aren't going to win their conference in the top 10. There's more than one Southern States team in the top 10, so they'll take one at-large bid, but there's one automatic bid already handed out there. So you're absolutely right. Coaches will definitely tonight be up to the wee hours checking the scoreboards and perhaps doing some guessing of their own of where they fit with those at-large bids. But for the fans, you'll know tomorrow afternoon for sure whether your team has made the national tournament or not. Joseph, too much pressure from behind there, and Saints go with a quick restart.
Yeah, they want to keep that attack going as much as possible. And I don't know about you, but this Ashford team still looks like the same team I saw at the end of the first half. I haven't seen a notable difference.
Handball.
A little further back there.
Yeah, handball on the Saints there. Grizzlies were trying for a quick restart, but the referee will make sure everybody's sorted out.
Been a great game here so far.
I agree.
It's been everything you could hope for. After a couple games that really weren't close at all yesterday. Really only GGC's men's team's game came down to the wire. All the others, 2 goals or more.
Dangerous play there by DaCosta. He knows it too. Ashford with another start. So let me ask this question here, Nate.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Emotional game yesterday for the Grizzlies in a win. Obviously going to be invested a lot of energy here in this game. Got the first goal here. You're waiting for Ashford to respond. Do they have enough in the tank here to close out over the last 26 minutes?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored again. The way GGC is playing this game right now, they're playing poised and with a lot of confidence. I would not be surprised at all if we saw them score again.
Great looking flick there by Ledsom. Play still continues for Ashford. Loose ball in the midfield here. Ashford goes with a chip toward the box. Joseph has his bearings covered there, and now Anang will clean up nicely.
Yeah, I honestly think that with the way they have played, the Grizzlies' defense is definitely capable of making this shutout number 8. Only time will tell if that happens, but unless Ashford hits that second level here soon, I think that's what we're going to see. Because I have not seen a significant difference in their team between the end of the first half, which I think is when they were playing the best soccer of the night for them, was the end of this half, or in the first half.
Yeah, Burkjaw's contact there, taken down, gets credited for the foul. And now we're going to get another yellow card. And this one's going to be more dissent. I don't think because the guy that took him down was, I believe, Brown, but now getting booked is Hillard. And so I believe the third, unofficially you don't have to write down the explanation, but about the third yellow card for dissent here issued to Ashford. And you got to think, well, is that taking a mental toll on the Saints now that they're kind of frustrated with themselves and now showing that disappointment?
Well, I would think by the third time you'd figure out that you can't keep getting away with it. But we'll see. And of course, GGC's came for the same reason.
Was a 3-man wall, now a 2-man wall for Kinsella. Lugo stands over top of it alongside, I believe, Geraldo.
As far as a header battle goes, I'd say it's an advantage Ashford.
Here's a low line drive to the near post. Kinsella handles it nicely. Little step over move there for the Grizzlies to add a little wrinkle. Kinsella, a quick long boot there, trying to turn the field in their direction. Header straight up in the air here. Burke tossing for position. Wisely goes back to Kinsella. Hits the bouncing ball toward midfield. Johan judges it nicely there. Rattled around Ramirez's head. Johan continues to chase. Johan still battling. Off the Luga. Excuse me, Morty. Now Sanchez looks for a chip. Gets to Sissoko. It checks up. Sissoko cuts back to the left foot. Sissoko. Clearance denied there. Last touch by a white shirt. It'll be a green corner.
Well, overall, obviously Sissoko scored the goal, but for most of the game, Hoffman really has done a pretty good job containing him. Sissoko's had some great back and forth moves to get it done, but overall, not a bad effort at all from the senior defender.
Lugo will take the corner kick here to the near side. Lugo will swing with the left foot. He'll go low line drive to the near post there, and it almost went in. Did it go in? Flag up to the near side, and it's a goal! The Grizzlies have snuck in a goal on the near post, and the GGC boys lead by 2 here in the A.I.I. championship game.
Well, I know you don't like predictions, but so far I'm feeling pretty good about mine. I know we still have 23 and a half minutes to go, but
huge confusion on the near post there. I believe Callum Mordi is going to get credit for the goal, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think I don't know. I think it might even just go straight to Lugo. We'll see.
Grizzlies,
Mordy will get credit
Mordy.
for goal number 2 there, as it'll be assisted by Martin Lugo. I believe the man on the near post was Hoffman, and Hoffman just assumed Kinsella was going to be there. It literally laid on the front post as Morty popped it up in the air. Unable to head it out on the back door as the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies lead 2-0.
That's another one I'd love to see a slow-mo replay of. A little bit like Dreyer's goal yesterday, right by the post. A little bit of a funky bounce. Ooh.
Tough break there for the Saints. They are furious right now as Geraldo had a clearance and it hit the referee and bounced in Ashford's way, and Ashford would have had a nice little goal-to-goal situation. Grizzlies wasn't a true breakaway, but I guess the referee is giving the possession to Ashford, but Ashford needed somewhat continuation. Stop the clock here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have another booking with the 6 players right around him.
I think he's just stopping the clock here to get regrouped. I don't think anybody's getting carded in this situation, as confusion is set in here.
I've never seen so many people get mad at a referee all at one time. That was a weird play, as GGC clearly would have had a deep clear on the play, but it just drilled the referee and went flying back toward the defense.
Now here's a ball for the Saints, trying to find that second level. Knocked off by
Corner
DaCosta. Grizzlies petition for a goal kick, but they're not going to get it. Saints trying to work quickly here in the 70th minute. Five shots on goal for the Grizzlies, 2 for Ashford. 6 corner kicks for the Grizzlies and 2 for the Saints. Here's a corner kick. It's an outswinger. It's going to bounce right in front of Lugo, and Lugo will frantically clear things away. Saints going to put it right in front of the mouth of the goal. 2 guys off sides here, including the guy that had the ball. No flag if play continues, but the Grizzlies recover defensively. Menang shaking and baking here, trying to find some help. Sanchez just boots it forward.
Now, 20 minutes ago, the clock was a mutual enemy or friend, if you will, but right now, the clock is definitely on the side of the Grizzlies.
Still a lot of soccer left. Most coaches will tell you 2-0 is the most
dangerous.
Most dangerous or unsettling lead in soccer.
Also holds true in hockey, coincidentally.
Sissoko back to Rodriguez, who loses the dribble. Here come the Saints back the other way. Sanchez with a swing and miss now. Ashford trying to mount the attack. Played to the midfield. Now for Machado. Machado lets this one roll off the side of his foot there, and it'll be a goal kick for the Grizzlies.
Mind if I expand on that saying a little bit?
What's that?
About 2-goal lead being the most dangerous.
I'll take a 2-goal lead any day of the week. Honestly, if you're up 1-0, you got to be better if you're up 2-0. I mean, you're 2 mistakes away from potentially going to overtime and 3 mistakes from a disaster. Versus a 1-0 lead, you still have to play with the same intensity that you do at 0-0. I think it's a mental thing that coaches come up with to try to make sure their teams don't relax when they go up 2 goals.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of teams will relax when they go up 2 goals. Then they'll give up a goal, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, we're only 1 goal away from this being a tie game, and then they get more tense than they were before, and they swing the pendulum in the opposite direction, and then they end up making more mistakes and giving up another goal. Of course, if you have
to make this statement, it's the most dangerous lead in soccer, I think is somewhat ridiculous. But coaches, honestly, it's a saying amongst the circles, and not to say they're wrong, but I'll gladly take a 2-0 lead, and you take a 1-0 lead. You let me know how that outcome results for you. And I think it's important, too, for the Grizzlies here, not along the same mentality. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Nate, but you got to keep playing your game. You just can't turn this into a cross-country kickball game with just booting it away consistently.
Absolutely. You have to look at what has gotten you to this point and keep doing that.
And I think the Grizzlies have dominated possession so far here. Long ball by Joseph. Sissoko's able to get in behind it, cuts onto the left foot. Dumps it off to Lugo. Lugo will let it fly here, and a great save by Kinsella. And now a rebound is in! David Burke with the rebound for the Grizzlies as a celebration is on in Lawrenceville.
Everything went right there, and I have to give Kinsella some credit. That was a great save on Lugo's attempt. Lugo had pretty much a one-on-one with him. Diving attempt to his right, kicked it out, and then it was really on his defense to help him out and clear it. Nobody did. Burke came flying in, punched it home, and now a 3-0 lead for GGC.
Stand corrected there. It was not Lugo, it was Rodriguez that put that initial shot on frame for the Grizzlies. Kinsella comes up with it, but indeed it was David Burks that buries the third goal of the game for the Grizzlies here, as Georgia Gwinnett will take an astounding 3-0 lead off Burks' 5th goal of the season.
So does that mean Rodriguez will get credit for an assist?
I have had this debate with other statisticians many times that effort created the goal, and I think that's essentially the definition of an assist. So we'll see officially how it's recorded here. Shot sails over the crossbar. Nice job there by Sharp. But we'll see how it's officially recorded, and it's coming across our desk now. German Rodriguez does pick up that assist. Other statisticians won't give an assist there. They'll just give a shot, a save, and a rebound goal.
And that puts Rodriguez back solely into the team lead of assists with 7.
Second of the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, then 8.
Grizzlies continue to mount the pressure here. How much wind is left in that Ashford sail with 18 minutes left? Burke goes to the far side here. Taken down.
Going back to that goal for a second, talking about using the long ball well, and that initial pass to Sissoko was dead on. He did a great job handling it. He gave it to Rodriguez into the middle. That set everything up.
Here comes Ashford down to the far elbow. Joseph stands his man up, knocks it away. Sliding effort won't keep it from going out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for Ashford. It was Joseph that set up that play with that long ball out of the back.
And what I've been saying throughout the course of the 2 games, what impresses me most about GGC is their passing, and they really brought their A game in that today, and it has definitely paid off.
Headed away by Nang. Comes in the near side. Grizzlies can smell victory here. Smell their first ever championship and their first ever postseason existence and their first opportunity in the short history of the college existence.
Well, for your sake, I'm glad it's not a closer game right now, because I think we would have to be calling the paramedics or pulling out an AED or something if this was a 0-0 or 1-1 game with this much time left on the clock.
Grizzlies have played sound the entire contest here. Here's a bad ball in the wrong direction. Burome has just checked into the game, and nice job there by Kinsella to keep it from even getting more disastrous. Ashford still playing hard, though. Long touch. Joseph is there for him. Chips it to Sissoko. 50-50 challenge here between Sissoko, and the ball ends up in the bleachers there. Rattled the cage of a couple of fans. But everybody seems to be okay there. Another sub here is Geraldo is going to get a step off here, and Coach DeCou will make a defensive change in that interior midfield and more of a defensive-minded player. And Andres Milano, the senior, will step on the pitch for the Grizzlies. Milano, a senior out of Bogota, Colombia. Burome with a challenge here, touched away by Hoffman.
Now let me toss a question to you real quick. Are you surprised by the score right now?
I am surprised at how well the Grizzlies are playing right now, and dare I say, this may have been the best 75 minutes the Grizzlies have played the entire season. I thought they played the best half of soccer they played was at Auburn Montgomery and got away a 1-0 win. They played really well at times, and obviously they've scored more goals against lesser opponents. But 3-0 versus the number 3 team in the country. I really want to keep this in perspective. Milano with a foul. But you go from inexperience to hosting this A.I.I tournament to what is this about? Getting a 1-goal win against San Marcos, to now catching some people's attention and going, Whoa. Georgia who? From where? What's their mascot?
Well, I think they're playing considerably better even than we saw yesterday. Like, they played well yesterday, but they have, talk about going to the second level, they've gone to a second level pretty much all game long.
Sissoko just behind Morty there as he had a great shot. Now ball to the back door. Sissoko feeling the love there, feeling a little excitement. He's a good 5 yards off sides.
Well, as we mentioned, although it is 3-0, very likely the clock has not struck on Ashford's season.
You would be correct. Again, a loss here for Ashford doesn't end their season. They'll most likely receive one of those 9 at-large bids headed into the A.I.I National Tournament.
This is just a great game for all those Georgia Gwinnett fans who have come out, have had the huge privilege and honor of hosting tournaments. That one goes just wide.
Ramirez with a solid left foot there, streaking across the defense. Just couldn't get around that ball enough as it fades away off frame.
It is, first time they've been playoff eligible. First time hosting the tournament. And the players have come up in a big way. Obviously, still disappointed about the fact that the ladies were unable to advance in their match yesterday, but men are really representing here today.
78th minute. You read right if you just tuned in. Georgia Gwinnett 3, Ashford 0. As A.I.I takes a shot to the back of the head. Now a one-timer just wide of the post there. As Sharp called for the ball, and A.I.I went with a header and almost cost the Grizzlies a shutout.
That's 2 or 3 shots in a row that Ashford's put on that have missed by just a foot or two.
Substitution here for the Grizzlies. Out goes David Burke, and I believe that's James Toombs who checks in.
I don't think Toombs saw any playing time last game.
You would be correct. Toombs, a freshman out of Evans, Georgia. Milano plays the ball toward Toombs. Toombs will climb the ladder, win the ball in the neighborhood of Aburome. High kick there by Geraldo, but Ashford issued advantage. Saints play it wide to the far side, now back toward the middle. Too much time and space, but A.I.I pounces all over that effort. And A.I.I might be shaken up on the play too. Play continues here, Aburome, now another Grizzlies down here. There are bodies all over the place here. 2 Grizzlies are down. I believe one is cramping and the other is hurt. The one who's cramping, I believe, is Lugo, and the Grizzly that is down is A.I.I. There you see A.I.I just to the left of your screen as Joseph standing over top of him. The referee comes over and checks on A.I.I. This one seems a little bit more serious. Milano doubling as a trainer here, working on German Rodriguez. A.I.I slow to get up. James Williams, head athletic trainer here at Georgia Gwinnett, will be asked to step on the field, and A.I.I will have to be removed, and that's based on a technicality, but you're hoping Renee is good enough to come back.
Yeah, tied for the team lead in goals, second in points. Definitely one you'd hate to see have to leave. This is his senior year. Do you remember where he transferred from?
Middle Georgia. Oh, wait. I could be wrong on that. Georgia military? Tomato, tomato. One or the other.
No, they're just completely different schools.
Yeah, I agree.
No biggie.
So A.I.I slow to get up here. But walking off under his own power, that's a good sign.
Very good sign, yes. And so as we wind down here, where clock is stopped at 11:34, your Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies leading 3-0 over the Ashford University Saints, and Ashford coming in as the top seed of the tournament, number 3 in the A.I.I poll in the entire nation, with GGC sitting just outside the top 25 at number 26. And I think it'd be fair to say that they have really controlled most of this game, and especially in the second half. Nice sporting gesture there by Ashford to put the ball back since GGC put it out. And there's another example of just, even though they're down late in the game, could have easily taken that opportunity to push it up, still showing sportsmanship. And that's one of the big things that NAIA promotes. And it's good to see it actually in action throughout the course of a game, especially in one where it's heated.
Foul goes against the Saints there, so the Grizzlies will get a free kick.
Sissoko on the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Very much a fantasy moment right now for the Grizzlies. You'd have thought with 10 minutes left we'd have saw something a lot similar to what we saw yesterday, and having to fight for every opportunity. Joseph gets forward and it goes right between his legs and almost created a goal.
That was almost a perfect screen.
Yeah. And so now just the unimaginable has occurred here with the Grizzlies up 3-0 in the A.I.I. championship game. Of opportunity for the Saints here. Joseph ran a long way to get back on defense.
Yeah, they've been knocking at the door a few times in a row here now.
There's a shot denied by Sanchez. Scored it out of danger. But now you're 10 minutes away from the greatest celebration in Georgia Gwinnett history. A chance to punch your ticket and be the first team to qualify for the NAIA National Tournament in its first year of existence in postseason eligibility.
Some more height coming in here as Ledsham and Hoffman both come out. Lennon and Longhans in.
9.5 minutes to play. Machado working on a Burome. Burome comes away with a stop. He'll play it forward. Had it taken away by Brown. Saints with possession. Stuart Morrison checks in for the Grizzlies as well. Here's a Burome, gets cut off, now finds the ball on his left foot, cuts back towards right. Let's go of a shot.
Oh.
Scrapes the post. It'll be touched by Machado, and so it'll be a corner kick for the Grizzlies.
That was very close to being 4-0 right there.
A couple other substitution as Figueroa checks in the game for the injured Anang, so Sanchez will play next to Joseph in that center back. Figueroa goes to the right and DaCosta to the left.
With each minute that passes, you get the feeling GGC is picking up even more momentum, even as Ashford is frantically trying to score. But the Grizzlies are just, with every passing minute, taking a firmer grip on this game.
Corner by Milano. Cancella climbs the ladder, and we get a flag up as Burome kind of took down Cancella, so it'll be a goal kick for Ashford.
Successive header went out anyway, so in essence, it's more or less the same thing.
82nd minute. Figueroa with the challenge. Joseph literally steps right on top of it. Figueroa recovers here. The senior out of Guatemala. Substitution here, and there's going to be a pair of them. Stuart Joseph will step off, as does Patrick DaCosta. DaCosta a little limp, as Anang will step back on. Checking in for Stuart will be Juan Giraldo. Maybe a rotating carousel of subs coming into the game for Coach Taku. Burame trying to settle. It'll trickle off the sideline. It'll be a throw in for the Grizzlies.
Well, they have to be feeling, or at least Coach Taku has to be feeling pretty impressed with the way his squad has carried out the game plan tonight.
Sissoko will take it all the way to the corner flag, trying to stand over top of it and kill some clock. Literally puts it right inside the corner flag, surrounded by white shirts. He gets taken down here. Play continues. Figueroa had it touched off of him. Sissoko slow to get up. Quickly, let him. Hose it in. Machado playing forward. Near side. Almeida. Through ball here. Stood up by Crownham. Crownham touched it last. GGC throw-in. 84th minute. Another sub here for the Grizzlies as Burke will step back on for Toombs.
Keep the fresh legs in there.
Saints trying to battle. Moda plays it forward. Denied by Nang.
Now we talked about Ashford being used to traveling big distances. How used to that is GGC?
They have traveled the entire month of October. Been to South Carolina, as you know. We've been to Tennessee, a little bit of Alabama. But really North Carolina as well, but not too far distances. So that's what's going to be really interesting to find out where the Grizzlies go for that opening round, which could be literally anywhere in the country. The NAI has some bylaws using geographics and economics to determine who goes to what site. So hopefully being in kind of a central location in Atlanta, you don't have to go cross country. It should be driving distance, but very much could find the Grizzlies in South Florida or even the state of Mississippi playing in one of those opening round contests. All out of bounds there. It'll be a goal kick for the Grizzlies. 85th minute.
Can't say enough about how well this GGC defense has shut down the Ashford attack. Let me just say it again. This is a team that has scored over 3 goals a game, 54 goals on the season, and they have been completely shut down.
Header there by Milano. Head in the wrong direction. Throw in for the Saints.
Yeah, with each passing minute, victory becoming a little bit more sure.
Hiller. Grizzlies all tucked in behind the ball.
Nearly got a steal there.
Brown dumps it off. Now to Machado.
I don't know if anything will help the Grizzlies stock in the polls. I would think this would.
There's a shot deflected by Anang. Morty with a trap, too much English on it, trying to regroup. Here's an opportunity for the Saints into the box. Here's Cranham to the near post. Joseph is there. Joseph, quick clearance there and gets it out of danger. 86th minute.
Superb defensive positioning, really helping out his keeper there.
There's an errant touch there by Kinsella. Sissoko couldn't settle. Throw in for the Saints.
That had some crazy spin on it.
Line drive, played forward. Figueroa with a header. Morty with a win. The Grizzlies can feel it. Sanchez with a header.
By the way, if it's not, sorry, well, we'll wait till this possession's over.
Saints on the far side, weaving their way through traffic. They get across. Joseph is there. Milano might have been high kick, but he'll get advantage. Milano plays it way over the head of Sissoko.
Since it is looking quite sure that GGC will wrap this up, it's worth mentioning that we will have Steve DeCou up here afterwards for a post-game interview. Sure, he'll be quite excited. So we'll have that coming up for you in a little while.
Ball goes to Sharp. He's going to stand on this one as long as possible. Now Sanchez is down here. Sharp picks up the ball, and I believe he's cramping. And this isn't a strategic move here. This isn't like you're trying to kill the clock. With any injury, the referee will literally stop the clock with exactly 2.5 minutes to play here in the 88th minute.
Well, what has impressed you the most about your Grizzlies today?
They have shown little emotion in terms of not having emotion from being hungover from yesterday or being too high because it's a championship game. They've been very even keel in this contest. They look like a veteran, polished team, and I am thoroughly surprised by that. Anybody would have guessed the Grizzlies could have been frantic, could have been nervous, but they have been very, very calm demeanored and very, very polished, it almost looks here in this contest. They look like a championship team here.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but
I hear you.
When you asked me yesterday,
you're right,
which team did I think had the best chance of winning a championship, I said this GGC team, and so far, they are proving me right.
You're very correct. 88th minute here, free kick for the Grizzlies. Excuse me, 89th minute.
Didn't see exactly what happened, but definitely a few people getting tangled up.
I believe Burame and Hiller just got wrapped up with each other. Referee will move the four-man wall back inside the 18. Geraldo will stand over top of it. He'll put this one toward the frame. It'll last touch by the wall. It'll be a corner kick for GGC. 90 seconds till the celebration in Lawrenceville is on.
Yeah, that touch by the wall might have done more harm than good. Nearly went in the goal, and now, of course, one of the GGC goals has come off of the corner.
Grizzlies aren't even going to put this ball anywhere near the goal. This is going to be
1 minute remaining.
Milk it for all it's worth. 60 seconds left. Sissoko is going to try to box out. Now we're going to get a whistle and a foul, and I like that move by the referee. We saw a mistake in that game last night of the women's game where the game never ended. I like that move by the official.
Yeah, that was an ugly ending to that game. How many cards did we have in the last 45 seconds?
3 in a red, I think. Here we go. Crowd on its feet, making some noise. Saints with one more push. 30 seconds to play. Ball into the box. Joseph shoulder to shoulder. It's going to go off the inline and be a corner kick for Ashford. Flags up on the far slide, but I never saw it. Now the whistle is blown and Ashford's going to scramble here. 20 seconds to play. Round of applause all the way around. 12 seconds. Ball into the box.
10,
headed up.
9,
Count it
8,
down, boys and
7,
girls. The
6,
glory
5,
will go
4,
to the Grizzlies.
0. And your Grizzlies are the 2013 A.I.I. Men's Soccer Champions.
I present to the rest of the nation your A.I.I. champions in NAIA-bound Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies. If you don't know who we are, you'll find out real quick.
Well, the 3 games I've seen them play, that second half is the best half of soccer I have seen out of these Grizzlies. They are peaking at exactly the right time.
Tip your hat to Ashford. The number 3 team in the country came to Lawrenceville and did not disappoint. Obviously not happy with the results of this contest. Their season is not over. They will move forward and learn from this situation. They will be the at-large bid for sure coming out of the A.I.I. as the Grizzlies continue to celebrate on top of the G-Claw. The trophy presentation we will have for you here momentarily, as the Grizzlies will win by a final score of 3-0. Somebody pinch me, this seems surreal. Unbelievable outcome for what the Grizzlies were unexpected to do. Maybe even just outside of the locker room. Maybe the Grizzlies expected to do this. But for anybody outside of that Gwinnett uniform, just an unbelievable feeling here. Postseason eligibility no longer means anything. It's a championship now for Georgia Gwinnett. We'll have both trophies to present here on air for you, as well as the all-tournament team announced as well.
Expect to definitely see some Grizzlies on that. I guess we probably Dreyer will make that list as well.
In today's men's championship,
So what a fantastic effort here by the Grizzlies.
Ashford University nothing.
As again,
Congratulations to 2013
they will move
A.I.I.
on
Men's Soccer Champions, the Georgia Gwinnett
to the
Grizzlies.
NAIA National Tournament in
And
the
let's hear it
opening
for
round,
both
which will
of these
happen
fine
next
teams
Saturday.
today.
Location to be
We will be
determined.
announcing
We'll
our
find that out
all-tournament
tomorrow
team
and
presenting our
Monday.
championship trophies.
I've always heard the cliche, Nate, that teams who celebrate the most need to learn how to win a championship. But when you've never celebrated before, I believe you're allowed the extra mile. Or maybe the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know. I think that's kind of a wrong saying, in my opinion. Especially, I guess it depends on what level you're talking about. But for most any major sport.
But you always hear the act like you've been there before. We've never been there before. We don't know how to act.
Well, for most players, especially in a college circle, even if the school's been there 20 times, for a lot of the players, it is their first time. And for a lot of players, it'll be their only time. That, they can say, we are the champions. Well, this, you'll have your dynasties and such, but across all levels and across all sports, there are an awful lot of players who will only get that one time that they are at the pinnacle. And so I say for them, I don't care if the same college has won it 3 times in a row. You're bound to have some freshmen on there. Let them celebrate. Let them enjoy it. And as long as they aren't being stupid, then let them savor the moment.
So Ashford presented with the runner-up trophy there. Obviously, that's going to be a heavy trophy to take back to Clinton, Iowa. And here, your 2013 Associate of Independence Institution champions, the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies.
And the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies.
See the different country flags on the backs.
So a great sight there as Alex Joseph, the senior, secures it. And the celebration is on.
And let's point out again, this is a team that is without its first-team All-American defender in Brood Grawl, a team that had to have its lineup switched around who knows how many times throughout the course of the season. Never would have guessed it looking at their performance tonight.
So the championship trophy is presented to Georgia Gwinnett here, and now the A.I.I. team will be announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce our 2013 All-Tournament team. From Lindenwood Belleville, Cesar Acosta and Sebastian Reyes. From Cal State San Marcos, Dustin Sibilia and Louis Farfan. From Ashford, Mark Hiller, Luis Mota, and Paul Letcham. And from Georgia Gwinnett College, Alex Joseph, Johan Sanchez, Ibrahima Sissoko, and your 2013 A.I. Tournament Most Outstanding Player, Senior Rene Inang. Congratulations again to both of these two teams on fine seasons. Our women's final between Ashford and Cal State San Marcos will begin at approximately 7 o'clock. Thank you everyone for being here tonight.
So the individual plaques will be handed out here as every Grizzly will get a token of this championship here to take with them forever. And the Founding Fathers will always be known as the group of Grizzlies that founded this program, built it to what it is, laid the foundation. But who knew, Nate, the foundation was not going to be the only thing they laid. The first brick will also be cemented by this group of senior class as A.I.I. champions.
Fantastic effort from the GGC squad. Definitely earned this victory, earned every single one of the goals, and by pretty much every statistical measure, they owned this match.
We will have Coach DeCou on in just a moment. We'll have post-game stats as well. And Coach DeCoux making his way up here as well. And just a wave of emotion right now for this Grizzly team. As I can't say it enough, Georgia Gwinnett College is your 2013 A.I.I champions, and we're going to go ahead and be joined now by head coach Steve DeCoux. Coach, I'll say it again. The Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies are the A.I.I champions. How does that
Got a pretty
sound?
nice ring to that, doesn't it?
How does
I
that
like
sound?
that.
In your wildest dreams, did you see us winning this game the way we did?
I didn't. Kevin did. Kevin, as we were sitting right there, Kevin said, I said the same thing. I said 3-0. He goes, Coach, I told you all year we're better than them. And so, yes, yep, I see that one. So, but what a performance tonight.
In a matter of, take me back to Friday morning. We're getting prepared for this A.I.I tournament. We're inexperienced. We don't know what this tournament's about. We barely know where Cal State San Marcos campus is at, much less the team.
Right.
Now to 36 hours later, we just beat the number 3 team in the country.
Well, that just tells you that some of those Raiders out there don't have a clue about us. If we just manhandled number 3 in the country and we're 26, basically goes along with everything I've said, and I don't care if they hear this. They don't know what they're talking about because we just destroyed number 3, and so we deserve to be a top 15 easily.
Will we get a chance to host an opening round game next Saturday?
No, we'll be on the road. We didn't even put in a bid for it. It's a bid process, and the top 16 teams host. We didn't feel we would be there, so we didn't do that. So we'll be traveling somewhere.
Where we have no clue on earth where it could be. We can only speculate from here. We'll find out for sure on Monday. The field will get announced tomorrow. But let's not move past today. What a performance by your Grizzlies. Clearly the best 90-minute game we've played all season. But possession-wise, just absolutely dominated the team that scores 3 goals a night.
We did, because if you would have been sitting with us over in the first half, we were talking amongst ourselves going, what are they doing? I mean, I thought it was a chess match, and they're trying to set us up for something. And fair play. I think they respected our pace and our ability, and they dropped off, and they just altered their game enough that it allowed us too much time and space. I'm not sure, but I don't know if it's they didn't respect us.
Or maybe too much respect.
Or maybe too much respect. I don't know. It's just I'll take it.
What does this mean for this program to just win a championship in its first year in existence, and we're headed to the national tournament?
Oh, that sounds so good. What it means is most teams, it takes years to get to this process. We've decided to hit the fast forward button and get there rather quickly, and now we've set the bar extremely high for ourselves in the program, as well as all the other coaches in the department. So I just can't be more thrilled for the boys and excited that the way that we just handled things today.
Coach, I don't know when this feeling is ever going to wear off. I hope it never does, but if you got an extra seat on the bus, I'd love to travel with you guys next Saturday.
You're going, big man. You're going. From when I went the previous 2 times, it was nice, but I was in somebody else's shadow. This, we're casting the shadow now, and we're setting the tone. And this is why I took this job, was for this opportunity. I help these guys, win games, and this is great. But man, look, we're setting the benchmark, and I can't be any more proud of these kids tonight. I'm just so excited.
Coach DeCoux, your A.I.I champions.
That's pretty cool. Hey, now Darren's got to go build a trophy case, doesn't he?
He does. Our first trophy here in Georgia Gwinnett will reside with the men's soccer program and Steve DeCoux. Coach, congratulations.
Thanks,
enjoy.
man. I'm going to.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
So head coach Steve DeCoux here on the Grizzly Digital Network. And again, can't say it enough. The Grizzlies win by a final score of 3-0. Nate, you're obviously kind of new to Georgia Gwinnett, much like everybody else. Nobody saw this coming. Put this environment into words right now and what it means and what you've learned so far.
I've learned this is a program that is definitely on its way up, and one that is obviously well coached, because as we've commented on before, with soccer it's not like basketball, it's not like hockey. There isn't a lot of pull your players off to the side for 5 minutes and tell them what to do. It's a lot of you tell them what to do throughout the week, and then during the game, you're on the sidelines, you're making substitutions strategically, but you're just letting the players play and trusting that they've learned it well enough, you've coached it well enough, and that they are going to execute the game plan well. And boy, did they ever do that today. They just totally dismantled one of, statistically, the best teams in the entire country.
And the stat sheet and the final box score says it here. As the Grizzlies win 3-0, absolutely dominated this sheet of paper that sits in front of us. Nate, why don't you go over that for us?
Well, let's just start with the offense first. The GGC outshot Ashford 20-9. That's 7-3 with shots on goal. And then, of course, picking up 3 goals, 2 of them assisted. Those came all in the second half, as much like the last GGC game we saw. And starting off at the 51-11 mark, Ibrahima Sissoko scoring off the Martin Lugo assist. And then Callum Morty banging home goal number 2 at 66-26. That was that one, kind of the funky play off the corner kick. And then finally, just to put one more sprinkle on top of the cake, we had David Burke off of Jeremiah Rodriguez's shot, putting in the deflection there at 71-07. As we mentioned before, a bit of a chippy game as there were 24 fouls altogether, 16 for GGC, 8 for Ashford, and we had 4 cautions come out. 2 in the first half at 24-02. Jordan Hoffman picked up 1, and then Paul Ledsham at 37-49. Then in the second half, we had Juan Geraldo pick up 1 at 57-54, and then Mark Hiller off of Ashford at 64-58. Corner kicks, after a 4-1 edge for GGC in the first half, it was 4 apiece in the second for an 8-5 total. And then looking at the keepers, Patrick Kinsella for Ashford, 3 goals allowed, 4 saves. And for Lewis Sharp, shutout number 8, as he only had to make 3 saves. Defense in front of him played fantastically. A couple times where it looked like they might have slipped up, but never cost them. And so the final score and the numbers that matter most, especially to the folks here in Georgia, 3-0 in favor of GGC.
Again, Georgia Gwinnett, in the first time postseason eligibility, wins the A.I.I. tournament and will accept the automatic bid to the NAIA National Tournament, and will competing in the opening round next Saturday. Time and location to be determined. Your best bet is going to be GrizzlyAthletics.com. Find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. You know the drill. Like, love, gotta have us. Follow us, tweet us. It's been a great weekend so far here on the men's side, capped off by a GGC win, and we appreciate all of our friends, family, and alumni tuned in here on the Grizzly Digital Network. Nate, final thoughts here as we wrap up and put a close on the men's tournament.
If it's a webcast, I'm definitely watching the first round of the tournament because I want to see if GGC can one-up themselves in nationals.
So that'll do it here for our entire cast and crew from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Stay tuned. Our women's championship game will set foot just a little bit after 7 o'clock. We'll have the pregame show you at 6:45. For Ned Colgrove, our assistant athletic director, and for my broadcast partner, Nate Wark, Latrice Atkins Addison on the camera, Josh Wright in the house as well, getting the close-up shot. I'm Matt Mahoney, the voice of the Grizzlies. This is a great day to be a Grizzly. So long, everybody. This is the Grizzly Digital Network.
We would like to thank all of our corporate sponsors who have made today's game possible. You can watch this game and previous games by clicking the On Demand tab at the top of the page. In addition, you can watch coaches' shows and weekly feature stories all on the Grizzly Digital Network by clicking the On Demand tab as well. For the latest information, including game recaps, schedules, and so much more, visit GrizzlyAthletics.com.